Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local on this Thursday afternoon. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours, and a lot to get into this afternoon as we start working our way to the weekend. Football is back. A little Thursday night football action in the NFL with the Dolphins and the Bills. We also have one college game tonight, an American game between Charlotte and Rice. So we'll talk a lot of football this afternoon. We'll continue to talk about Saturday's big game between Memphis and Arkansas. We'll also get some other college football talk and a little basketball talk as well. So plenty to get to this afternoon. But Brett, how are you today?
Brian, I'm doing really well. Afternoon baseball scores going final right when we come on. Guardians win over the Tigers. They're only 3 back now to win the Central.
Yeah, they've been playing really well. I think that makes them, I believe, 11-1 in their last 12 games. They have been playing really, really
it's
well.
It's a good time for it
there
in September.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's the right time. They got the win last night over the Tigers, a win again today. They're playing extremely well, and we'll see if that can continue. And maybe they're the team to watch out there, of the team that gets hot late in the season and goes on that little run.
3 back in the all-important loss column. I don't do that half stuff.
Yeah.
Mets, Landon, good job. Metropolitans get the win 6-1 over the Padres. You need a win at this time of year. Anytime you go out, Rays 4-0 over Jays. They're just about done. Mm-hmm. But and 5-3 A's in the 9th against the Red Sox.
Yeah, so a good amount of games this afternoon, and you mentioned that series between the Padres and the Mets has been really, really fun. We talked about it yesterday, and some of the I think Mets went out the night before and got 3 home runs in the first 3 innings and looked really good. Last night it was the Padres that got on the board early and got up by a lot, and then now today Mets getting back, had their one of their young pitchers on the mound with Tong, so he looked pretty good in his outing today. So yeah, I mean, Mets maybe turning that corner and finding something against a good Padres team.
You can't make the playoffs just expecting those teams to lose, to chop that magic number off. You got to chop it off winning games.
That's right. Yeah, no, you got to go out. I mean, we always talk about, you want to be playing your best baseball when you get to postseason play. And so for these teams, especially for the Mets, where it feels like all year they've kind of been the story of the season, and hadn't been for a good reason. They were the story of the offseason for what they were able to do to go out there and get Juan Soto and bring him to the Mets from the Yankees. But then the season kind of started. It felt like all season it was very up and down. There'd be times where they'd be playing really well. There were times where they would really struggle. And so, I think to see them kind of starting to maybe turn that corner late in the season, relying on some younger pitchers that they've called up from the minors, I think things could be moving in the right direction for them.
Rockies off today. They take the field tomorrow night against the Angels at Coors Field. When they take the field, 70 under 500.
How about that? Yeah, I mean, it's that type of season for the Rockies, and I don't even really know what to say about it, Brett.
Tickets available.
Yeah, no, it's
nice Friday night at Coors Field that I hear is great.
Sure.
Never been.
Well, and we talked
Never
about
been to the state of Colorado, but
we talked about it a week or two ago, maybe 3 weeks ago at this point. But even though they're so bad, I mean, they're still not bad attendance. I mean, attendance has been pretty good.
It has been.
And so I guess credit to that fan base.
70 under 500.
It's not great. Not great.
We'll get them next year.
111 losses right now. That's crazy. That's hard to believe, honestly.
They can still reach some historic futility, can't they?
Maybe. I try not to look at the how bad it can get for the Rockies.
62 Mets were 40 and 120. 2 games were not played.
Yeah.
Last year, the White Sox were 42 and 120.
I think so. Yeah. So I mean, they can get near that. I don't know if
just need 2 wins to kind of get out of that territory.
Yeah, I mean, you got.
I don't know if there's 2 in them.
I don't know. You wrap up against Miami, then you got L.A., Seattle, San Francisco. I mean, maybe
L.A. be resting. Dodgers.
No, Angels.
Angels. Okay.
So maybe you can pull out a couple against the Angels, maybe, and then those last 2 series doesn't feel like, unless maybe. I mean, San Francisco looks like they'll be trying to play for something. Maybe not at that point. Seattle will certainly be in the mix and wanting to win games. So yeah, don't look very good for the end of the season for them.
Mariners' winning streak stopped last night. Houston moved back narrowly, still tied in the loss column, but Seattle leading right now in the ninth.
Yeah, and that was you knew it was going to come to an end at some point. Came to an end last night, and now they're up 2-0 over the Royals right now. So could get right back in that win column. But a fun game between the Astros and the Rangers last night. A game that the Astros were able to win, and last night, Brett, really fun. I know, and I was talking to somebody this morning, and they were like, isn't that the same thing that we see on MLB Network? And I always forget, because I just use it on the computer, but I forget that they do Big Inning a lot on MLB Network. But last night on ESPN2, we had squeeze play, where they were bouncing around from all the games in Major League Baseball. So, getting towards the end of the season, making sure everyone's got eyes on all of these important games. So I sat down on the couch last night and watched squeeze play most of the night to kind of try to keep up with all of these games that were going on. And we talked about it. The playoffs kind of started, and there were some really fun games last night. This
weekend, it will largely be decided down in Houston, deep in the heart of Texas, in the middle of football season. Yeah. Mariners and Astros, three at Dakin Park to take the West.
It's going to be a fun one, and we talk about it so much that it feels like every single season it comes down to this final week in the AL West, and I know Sunday Night Baseball is going to have that game on ESPN, so a lot of intrigue for that, and see which one of those teams can get the upper hand and win that division.
Brian, since I raised my voice the other day, only in passion, not in anger.
Absolutely.
I won't do it in either one today. I could, though, but I'm not going to. This NCAA story in Wofford, I mean, it gets to the last nerve for me.
No, it's wild, and I'll just go ahead.
I detest the NCAA.
I mean, it's crazy, and I'll go ahead and say it. It's when we get to 5:45 later this afternoon, later this evening, it will be what I could have done without. Because you're right. I mean, it's madness. I mean, because when I first saw it this morning, obviously had seen the news that Wofford was letting their head coach go about a week ago, and I was like, that's weird timing. Something's going to come out of this. Put that in your back pocket, save it for whenever that happens. And then to see today, getting benefits, and I was like, oh no, I don't really know what that means in today's day of NIL and house settlement and money all about.
I didn't know that you could.
I don't know. Yeah, I was like, I don't even know what that means. So I was like, it must be something pretty serious if we're firing a coach and this type of story is coming out. And then to learn that basically it all came down to players using meal cards even though they didn't live on campus and lived off campus.
All the big stuff.
I don't understand how that is something that we are firing coaches for and coming down and suspending players for. That's nuts.
And when people like me get aggravated and say it's not all the big stuff, this is exactly what those pinheads are the best at.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
this is what they're really good at doing. The little bitty marginal stuff that in the grand scheme just doesn't make anything. It's what most of these compliance types are about.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe, like we said, in this day and age of money just all over the place. And, believe me, Wofford does not have the same money that Kentucky basketball has. And so the fact that, they're saying, hey, look, you're one of our players, you're a student
Wofford
athlete.
doesn't have what Western Kentucky has.
It's a great point. I mean, but to say that these guys that are living off campus but are student athletes, are attending the school, going to classes, the fact that they're using a meal voucher or whatever form of currency it was for the university and for meals, that is going to, in this day and age, get this type of response is laughable. I mean, it makes no sense at all.
And it's just exactly what they're the best at doing. Everything is so very performative. Take that banner down. Make your media guy and your record book a jigsaw puzzle of gobbledygook. Of did we win? Is this a loss? Did both have to forfeit? I mean, what's going on here? It's what they're great at. I will say it. Most of those types in Indianapolis, working for the NCAA and around college sports. If you're in that compliance world, that tattletale, 99, I caught you.
Yeah.
You never hung out with a cool person in your life.
Yeah, no, I believe it. But, Brett, I'll be honest. When I first saw this story this morning, 1,000%, before I read any of it, when I just saw the headline. I thought this was adding something to the betting scandals and all of that stuff that we've seen over the last couple months, couple weeks in college basketball, that this was just going to be another team added to that, and that a couple players were involved or there was thought of involvement there and they were going to do more investigations. And then I opened the story and I read more into it and I was like, nope, this is far from that.
And that bunch in Indianapolis that's enforcing this, they're only there because they couldn't get a job with the IRS.
Well, they kind of go about it like they're the IRS. They're very particular in what they want to care about and what they want to enforce. I guess
it's why at NCAA tournament time when I hear that questions for the student athletes, it's just such garbage.
Crazy. It makes no sense. But yeah, I mean, hard to believe we're this close to the season. I mean, we are just a month away from practices getting started, exhibitions,
and they're out of business.
There,
and not only that, in a few years, passage of time, things happen. You'll say to people, Wofford, oh yeah, that's the place that cheated so bad. Cheaters, cheater. Want to throw that around, and it's why I've always said, don't be so gleeful when the neighbor slips, when the rival slips, when somebody else in your league slips, because the next screaming headline could be you.
Sure.
And for so many places, if you're not winning, then you're a loser. Then when you win, they want to call you a cheater.
That's right, yeah, and I hope that this is not. I hope this isn't remembered like that. I hope that this is kind of different than kind of how we look at some of these other NCAA things. Because
I'm with you. I hope it's not remembered because I hope there's no NCAA in a few years to even remember it by.
Yeah, I mean, because this is just such a weird situation and a weird premise of firing a coach. Again, this is from one of the stories that was written in this, said that players were informed on September 17th that the NCAA deemed them ineligible for using their meal plan while living off campus, which had never been discussed with them previously. Pepper said the alleged impermissible benefits they received range from $84 to $108.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
$108.
And the things that have been done in the name of intercollegiate sports. That's so sad.
I mean, we are that been out
well,
of shape.
Brian, it also
$108.
tells me that if that collective group of pinheads, if they want to, if this could be a warning shot. We can get you all on this. We can get anybody we want on this. Y'all think you've got us down? Big old mean college football, especially y'all in the SEC. You think you can do whatever you want? We're going to show you. You put the stamp on wrong. We can get you.
Yeah. No, we can get you for anything. Is what that tells me. But we've got a busy show today, so let me go ahead and set it up before we get to top and not top story. 3:30, Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. He's going to join us. We'll talk a lot of college football with him. There's a big one with a team down his neck of the woods is Auburn and Oklahoma. They'll play on Saturday.
The Jackson-Arnold Bowl.
Jackson-Arnold Bowl is going to be fun. I'm excited to see how both those teams react to it, how he reacts to it, how his former team reacts to it. That'll be a lot of fun, but we'll talk a lot of SEC. We'll talk a lot of college football with Pat Smith. We'll do that in our next segment. 3:45, we'll take a look at tonight's Thursday night football matchup between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. One team that's playing extremely well, the other that's playing really bad. So a matchup of two teams that look like they're going in opposite directions, but we will break it down at 3:45. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Spa Track and the Front Office Show. He'll join us. We'll talk NBA with him. A lot to get to when it comes to the NBA as we are getting closer to camps opening, closer to preseason action. So a lot to get to with Keith Smith at 4 o'clock. 4:30, we'll give you an Ole Miss Tulane preview as another big SEC versus Group of 5 game over the weekend, a SEC versus American game over the weekend. We'll break that one down, give you a little Ole Miss Tulane preview at 4:30. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston will join us. We'll talk Tigers with him. We'll preview the big one against Arkansas on Saturday. We'll get his thoughts from last week's game against Troy, but we'll really focus on this matchup between the Hogs and the Tigers. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time.
Don't forget tickets.
No, that's right. We also have tickets that we will be giving away at some point today and or tomorrow. I don't know when we'll be giving them away. You got to make sure you're listening, but we do have tickets from Sissy's Log Cabin that we will be giving away for this matchup between Memphis and Arkansas. So stay tuned for avoid those because they're coming your way. It could be at any point, so make sure you are listening. But I got to remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together, and right now it's the world's biggest spa sale going on at Family Leisure. Spas starting at $29.99 and swim spas up to 30% off. The floor model specials, they're going on as well, and you can get a cold plunge now starting at $49.99. Also, free umbrella with the purchase of select patio furniture sets. And the swimming pools, their clearance pricing, it goes through the end of October, and buy now and save with that price increase. Don't forget about the special financing. It's available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Yes, sir. We've got those tickets, compliments of Sissy's Log Cabin. And stay tuned. We don't know when we're going to give them away. We'll some today. We'll be some tomorrow. We're Sports Time. We're live and local all the way to 6 o'clock. And we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. Always from our Family Leisure Studios, wherever we are. Even tomorrow when I'm in Oxford, always from our Family Leisure Studios. He's Bryant. I'm Brett. Our great producer is Landon Schmidt. Please give us a call at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by the great people at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models. 26 is arriving. Always special leasing options. Call them at 901-334-9673. But they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat for that all-new 2025 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. You can drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's Thursday night football. Football is back, and it's a matchup, at least. The Dolphins, they enter the game 0-2 on the season and really have not looked good at all in either of these games. Got blown out against the Colts in the first game of the season when I think a lot of people entered that game not thinking very highly, or at least thinking a lot less of the Colts than we do going into Week 3. And then in Week 2, their home opener against the Patriots, a game where it felt like they had the opportunity to win. It felt like they would win late in that game. They return the punt, they get on the board, and then the very next play, Antonio Gibson returns the kickoff return for the Patriots and puts them back on top. They lose that game, so 0-2, and now they have to go up against one of the best teams, if not the best teams right now in the NFL, in the Buffalo Bills, a team that enters this game 2-0. Now the line, Bills at home, an 11.5-point favorite, the total at 50.5. I told Johnny Radio earlier today when I saw him, I said, what do we do with this game? I don't even know what to do with this matchup because
I'm ready for this advice. What did he give back?
He said, I really don't know what to do with it either. I mean,
John took a powder?
Well, and I don't know. He might have. That was before his show started, so I don't know if he gave out
he
play.
hadn't put all the brew in
exactly.
And mixed it up
He was just kind of he was just waking up, Brett. He was just starting his time on the clock. So he really wasn't ready yet. But this line, I mean, 11.5. That's a lot of points in the NFL, but I haven't liked anything I've seen from the Dolphins tonight, but it is NFL football, and, this is the NFL. Anything can happen, so I'm excited for this one on Prime tonight.
I am, too. I'm for the Buffalo Bills, for Coach Turner West.
That's right.
And the Buffalo Bills. Hope he gets that big O Super Bowl ring. All the years of the Bills being in the wilderness, in first year he's there to get a Super Bowl ring.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be great? My top story, everyone on fireworks alert for Arkansas and the Tigers. 62.5 the over and under in Las Vegas. But Arkansas, they're 12th ranked nationally rushing. The Tigers are 26th ranked nationally in rushing. Memphis 11th best at stopping the run. Arkansas 52nd best at stopping the run. That's all real good.
Yeah.
Arkansas 12th in punting. Memphis 70th in punting. I don't think Memphis can go out and win an Ole Miss Arkansas style game. Play a little hide and go seek. Work that play clock all the way down to those single digits. Try to win it at the buzzer, 28-27, something like that. The Tigers cannot win playing make-it, take-it football.
No, they absolutely cannot.
not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is Major League Baseball as we're getting towards the end of the regular season and a lot of teams needing wins. Like Brett said to start the show, winning is super important for mostly everybody. We know those teams that are out of it and just kind of playing out the strings of the season, but for the rest of the teams, very important games. You look at the Cleveland Guardians and what they have been doing, playing extremely well over the last 12 or so games. Now, a game and a half out of that wild card, only not far back at all to make that wild card. And you look at Boston trying to fend them off, but they're on 5-5 in their last 10, not playing great baseball. You look at that AL West, like we talked about it with the Astros and the Mariners over in the NL. The Mets get a win today, so they stretch their lead out a little bit over the Diamondbacks, but they're only 3-7 in their last 10, so it feels like this is going to be really fun watching Major League Baseball and seeing how the season ends. And then you get big news like this. Clayton Kershaw just coming out at the top of this hour. Clayton Kershaw is going to retire after this season is complete, after a phenomenal career in Major League Baseball and with the Dodgers. So a lot of eyes will be on Clayton Kershaw and see how far this Dodgers team can go.
Well, they put him on the All-Star team.
Yes.
Wasn't he All-Star Game MVP?
I don't remember.
Who was All-Star
I
Game
don't know.
MVP?
I'll have to look that up.
There was somebody that was All-Star Game MVP that I'm told they had decided before the game that you had to play.
Kyle Schwarber was the All-Star Game MVP.
Okay, well, what was the story? That you had to have played so much that they made him MVP anyway at Manfred's ruling.
I don't know. I know Schwarber had the home runs in the whatever extra inning the swing off they had at the end of the game. But
yeah, I think they wanted you to have a certain number of at bats or played a certain number of innings.
Interesting.
But that MLB walked in and said he's your MVP.
Love that.
Announced it.
Hey, why not?
My not top story. It could be the last days of Pompeii for Billy Napier and Florida. Okay, maybe a little bit hyperbolic, as I don't think it's going to be Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD, burying them in dust and ash and rock, because I don't think they offered a $22 million buyout to anyone back in 79 AD. Volcanic debris. It all kind of describes Scott Strickland hiring a football coach. Volcanic debris, 6 foot of mud burying you in. That's about how he hires a football coach, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want everybody to do two things around the Florida hire. Just every talk show host, commentator, sports person, with your buddies. Two things, please, nobody do during if it's a search. Don't say anybody can win at Florida.
Yeah.
We've got documented proof that only two really have been able to over the last 60 years of anything resembling the modern times. I don't know about in 79 AD. You do the research on it if you'd like. But anybody can't win at Florida. Don't say that. No. And please, nobody. And all the suggestions that are going to pop out, Meyer, Spurrier, whoever, John Gruden, please nobody say Nick Saban. Please.
Oh, don't. Brett, what is a 2025 coaching surge without Nick Saban in it? Hey, what?
You got a good point there.
I mean, I don't think you can have a coaching search without
he was a little bit younger.
Without Nick Saban. I think the top two, Brett, I think you're going to hear a lot of this. Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin 1-2 for that Florida job whenever it does come available.
I'll state right now, opening day 2026, neither will be head coach of the Gators.
You're going to hear a lot of it, I believe in. There's no way. I'm telling you now, Brett, just get ready for it. You will not be able to avoid Nick Saban.
Can Florida go through 2 rounds of Lane kind of passing on them?
I don't know. You know what? I think they have.
And remember the last time when it didn't get that close. It wasn't even that close.
I was about to say I think they can puff themselves up enough.
And Jeremy Foley and the Bull Gators and Spurrier, they just didn't want that tie. You gonna do that again? Well, really? Okay. Here we go.
It's gonna be interesting whenever this job does open up. But I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we return, we're talking some college football. Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. He joins us next.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, are you ready? Well, you should be, because it's time to load up and head for the games or hit the road with All-Star Chevy. All-Star Chevy right here in Olive Branch is getting you ready for driving season, for tailgate season, and everything in between. Come check out the all-new Tahoes and Suburbans, Traverses. All the Silverados are here. Financing as low as 0 or 3.9 and no payments for 90 days. 1.9 and no payments for 90 days on a new 2026 Equinox. And your good credit, of course, deserves it. Military and first responders, you get an extra $500 bonus. And All-Star has the best of the best pre-owned and certified Chevys. Tons of Silverados, Tahoes, Equinoxes, even the sexy, sleek-looking Corvette Stingray. If you have any car or truck you want to sell, this is the best week, and All-Star Chevy is the best place to bring your title and get a big check today. Are you ready? Let's go together. Let's drive. Everything you want is here. All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
If you're hungry and ready for action, get both this Friday at Top Gun, 2770 Whitten Road, because Top Gun is now the home of Fox Ridge Pizza, serving the best pizza and burgers in Memphis since the 70s. I'll be there from 11 to 1 this Friday with specials like a free range pass with ammo purchase and special unlimited range use Monday through Friday for just $29.99, and a chance to win tickets to the Memphis FAU game. Plus, we're celebrating the grand opening of Fox Ridge Pizza inside Top Gun, 2770 Whitten Road. See you this Friday.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year, Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering today.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
NST's been taking down insurance giants for over 35 years. Big firm power with hometown heart? Yeah, they don't play. It's that combination that has helped them win billions for their clients. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Looking for a new ride for less than $5 a day? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2025 Kia K4 LX, $145 a month, 39 MPG highway. 2026 Kia K5 LXS, $230 a month. And 2025 Kia Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $298 a month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease. Plus, we got it the all-new 2026 EV9, 72 months available, and rates as low as 0.00. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, K4 LX SE 183.3119, MSRP 24,440, K5 LX ST 54,13,744, MSRP 28,750, Telluride SG 689,239, MSRP 38,255. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/2/2025.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Steady flow of traffic right now trying to get south of Memphis on the interstate. We see some rain showers down in certain parts of DeSoto County, further on down south of Memphis, down into Tate County as well. Could affect your drive in certain parts of 55 right now. Again, we see some rain south of Memphis. Wrapping up this wreck over here on 40 eastbound at Jackson and Austin P. Limer's Jewelry is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go by and see them at 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian Brett with you as we about to talk to Pat Smith. But, yeah, Brett, go ahead.
Yeah, let me correct. 70 under 500 for the Rockies playing right now.
Yeah.
So they can get to 71 under
Brett,
right now.
Please do not apologize for being confused about the Colorado Rockies. I didn't
want somebody standing in line for tickets for tomorrow night.
I don't think
that was the 70 under night.
Now
it's
I
really
know,
big of you, Brett.
I know people in this area do care about the Rockies because Hunter Goodman is their catcher, the former Memphis Tiger, former Arlington Tiger. But I don't
and
think
the great Thomas Harding covers them.
That's exactly right.
We're going to catch up with Thomas during the postseason.
We definitely will. But I don't think many people are too worried about if they're playing right now or not.
I like accuracy.
I know you do. So that is, I'm glad that you were able to get that right. But we got to talk college football right now, and joining us to do that, Pat Smith from Jocks down in Birmingham. He joins us every week to talk some college football. Pat, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to today, but let's start with what happened last week, and let's start with the big game in the SEC between Georgia and Tennessee. A really fun back-and-forth game. Needed overtime to decide the winner. What did you learn about these two teams after watching that matchup?
Good afternoon, boys. Always a pleasure to be with y'all. And I guess more than anything, from an Alabama perspective, the Alabama fans down here, they love to see the fact that somebody scored 41 points against Georgia. Kind of reminded Alabama fans what they did in Bryant-Denny Stadium against Kirby Smart's defense last year. So that gave them a little bit of hope. And not to mention the fact that up until the game last week, Joey Aguilar looked pretty pedestrian as a quarterback. And if you paid attention to the stat line, Alabama's Ty Simpson has been on quite a heater of the last two games, throwing for over 600 yards, 7 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So for Alabama fans, it looked like that Georgia was pedestrian from a defensive point of view, which might give them hope next week between the hedges. But it was a heck of a football game. And I will say this, all kidding aside, I think Gunnar Stockton got a lot of respect from a lot of different people around the conference. Not that we thought that he wasn't a good quarterback, but that throw he made in the fourth quarter on fourth down, my goodness gracious, that was big time. And just a gutsy performance overall from two very good football teams. So more than anything, I walked away thinking that Tennessee was better than what I was going to give them credit for. And Georgia seemed like they had a few more warts than I thought they did before they went to Knoxville.
It is really darkest before dawn, and it may be that way for Billy Napier at Florida. They just were really pathetic in only losing by 10. There to be one at Tiger Stadium, too many penalties, too many turnovers, execution poor, strategy poor, organization really bad. If tomorrow night it's a waxing, the U really puts it on Florida. Florida sitting with that open date before Texas. Would they do anything before the Texas game?
I think you would almost have to, Brett. I mean, at this juncture, the proof's in the pudding. You pointed out on our show earlier today in Birmingham the fact that he loses that game, but he's going to be 20-22, right? I mean, 2 games under 500 at Florida. And it's a situation where it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I think Florida wants to be on the board. They want to be that first SEC team said, okay, guys, we're open for business. Not saying that they're not having phone calls or chats right now before Billy Napier has shown the door, but I think they would like go ahead during that off week to make something happen because more than anything, DJ Lagway looks like he's going backwards. And that's what Florida fans were hanging their hopes on coming into this season because the way he played towards the end of the year really saved Billy Napier's job last year. I just don't think it's doable this year. They look like a completely different team. Now, their defense does travel. Their defense played really well against LSU on the road. They're going to need a really Herculean effort up against Carson Beck this weekend against a very good Miami team. So we'll see what happens. But for me, Brett, to answer your question, I think that off week is important, and I think Florida would pull the trigger and go ahead and make it happen.
I'm with you on DJ Lagway. He really has stepped back. Now, last year, late in the year, even when he pulled off those swamp wins against LSU and Ole Miss, I know when I talked about it around Ole Miss, everybody just looked at it as sour grapes and bitter over Ole Miss losing. But, Bryant, you know I said consistently, I don't think he's all that. Now, I know that day, especially from one of the raucous student sections in all of sport, the Gators have it. I think other than Auburn, the second best student section in the SEC, but they were chanting that day, DJ Lagway, and I'm down on the field, and I was so aggravated, I swear I turned and kind of yelled at the clouds. I said, he's not doing anything. I mean, he would shot put it about 2 yards on 3rd and 17. The ball wouldn't travel in the air, I promise you, more than 2 yards. The back would catch it at the 2-yard mark and make the first down by the tip of the football, and they're chanting DJ Lagway.
Yeah, no, listen, and I agree with you about the Florida. Like, when Florida had it going under Steve Spurrier, the Swamp and Jordan-Hare Stadium, and, of course, Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, 3 of the most difficult places to attend if you're an opposing team. Yeah, absolutely. But as we've seen, it's been a minute since Florida's been in that situation. But yeah, I just think Florida's back up against the wall. And I know that Scott Strickland got a contract extension, good for him and his family. But let's just be honest, he has no business looking to hire the next head coach at Florida, because if anybody in the right mind in Gainesville, they wouldn't let him do it based on the history of him hiring.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Pat, this weekend, and Brett, shame on us, because we've been talking about this SEC American Challenge all week, but we have not talked about the third American team that's playing an SEC team, Tennessee and UAB. I mean, we are not giving enough credit to UAB.
Man.
So Pat,
I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry I did that.
I promise I did not think that I was going to go on a show in Memphis and talk about UAB football, but here we are.
Well, Pat, I didn't think you were going to either, because I was going to ask you who was on bigger upset watch against American teams, Arkansas or Ole Miss against Tulane, and then I saw UAB there against Tennessee. So I guess if you want to throw them in there, you can.
No.
But I guess I'll just stick with my question. Which is more scary for the SEC side, Memphis against Arkansas or Tulane at Ole Miss?
I think it's Arkansas, and the reason why is you're coming off an emotional game with Ole Miss. You have a situation of maybe potentially looking ahead and not paying attention to your opponent. I think that's a big-time game. Listen, I think Ole Miss, and, of course, Brett would correct me on this. He's closer to the football team than I am, but just from my point of view, I think that it got Ole Miss's attention last week, and you love to see that. They won the game. Yeah, they didn't play as well as we think Ole Miss can play this year, but I firmly believe that the Arkansas game, Arkansas is a good football team. Arkansas, to me, is a better football team than they were last year, and I know the proof will be in the pudding on Sam Pittman's future at the end of the year. But for me, it's Memphis being a very dangerous and good football team, and if Arkansas is not taking them seriously, or they go in there thinking, okay, well, we're going to get an easy W, then we're going to head back home and get ready for the rest of our schedule, I think they've got a big surprise coming. So I pay very close attention if you're a Hog fan and you think that this is going to be a cakewalk, because I think the Tigers are going to give them everything they want.
Pat, the SEC they've really taken care of business in the non-conference, batting .921 so far for winning percentage, playing at a conference. But if it happened to be a Tulane-Memphis sweep of that American Challenge, then here comes the criticism, and it would be deserved.
Well, one thing is for sure, you won't get criticism from either Kurt Cignetti or Brett Bielema, because they're playing each other this week. So whoever wins that game would probably criticize the SEC for losing 2 games to an American Conference team. But those 2 guys are going to beat each other to death on Saturday afternoon. So you won't have to worry about both of them. You might have to worry about one of them. But no, you're right, Brett. So far, the SEC has looked pretty strong. Texas and Alabama, obviously the 2 teams that were able to take it on the chin in week 1 against Power 4 opponents. So a lot's going to be in the pudding in the next couple weeks. You know, with Arkansas playing Notre Dame and some other high profile games for the rest of the season, including what's going on down in South Florida between Florida and Miami. So we'll see who ends up crowing at the very end of the year. But for sure, the SEC hopefully is going to get more than 3 teams in the CFP, and maybe we will end that 2-game streak in which the Big Ten has won a national championship.
Pat Smith with us from WJOX in Birmingham, where they talk college football year-round and do it better than anybody anywhere talking college football. He's with us every Thursday on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, and I look down the schedules remaining for everybody, and it's most of the rest of the year remaining. I just don't see any SEC team that you pick out the team and you go through the schedule and go, oh, no, that game. Oh, no, that game. Oh, we don't have a prayer in that game. There aren't any of those games. There's a lot of good teams. We could get mauled in that game if we play bad, but there's not anybody on that schedule like Bama was for so long. Georgia, a lot of years under Kirby. LSU under Coach Saban, and even Les Miles, and for sure under Ed Orgeron. I just don't see that behemoth out there.
No, I agree. I think this conference is wide open, and because when you start looking at everybody's schedule, especially over the next couple of weeks, and then really the back end, I mean, look at Oklahoma, what gauntlet they have to run through, and Auburn is in a tough stretch right now, which they're on the road in Norman. Oh, and then, by the way, you got to go to College Station next weekend, and then you get a week off, and then guess who comes to Jordan-Hare? Georgia. So that's a tough stretch. Everybody on Alabama's schedule, based on the way the Tide has played so far this year, the inconsistencies we've seen, outside of Eastern Illinois at the very back end of their schedule, I think every single game is on the board, guys. I really do, for Alabama to potentially lose. And they could also win every single game. That's what's so crazy about this year's Alabama team, and I can almost say that we'll know a lot more about Auburn after Saturday against Oklahoma. But one thing's for sure, I think this is wide open, and based on the way Arch Manning has played, based on Nussmeier's play, Lenore Sellers now out, and this is you got to have an elite quarterback to win the SEC and to be a college football playoff contender. And so far, the guys that we had pegged in the offseason as being those dudes, they just have not performed yet. They got plenty of time. They got plenty of runway to get it figured out. But as of right now, you would have to say that the quarterback play, at least on the bigger names in the conference, they have failed to do so.
Mm-hmm. The other team down in Alabama, Auburn, they've got a big one on the road this week, the Jackson Arnold Bowl, if you will, against Oklahoma. What do you expect in this one? Oklahoma has looked really, really good to start the season. They got the road win against Temple last week. Auburn as well, though. They're 3-0 now in the top 25. What do you expect to see in this matchup?
Well, I expect to see a lot of good defense. And the reason why is because when you look down and when the SEC stats come out on a Sunday that the Sooners lead the SEC in 6 defensive categories, that will play. Mm-hmm. That will play in potentially for an SEC championship potentially down the road if they play that consistent. I know that they've only really played one game, and that being Michigan, but they took care of business. This is huge for Auburn. The Baylor game was big for Auburn to get out on a winning side of things and get that confidence going. But I'm here to tell you, if Auburn goes 4-0 for the first time since 2019, best start obviously under Hugh Freeze, that confidence level, guys, is going to be through the roof. I think this is going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle. Obviously, Venables and that crew, they know Jackson Arnold better than anybody. Listen, there's no animosity. Listen, it was one of those amicable divorces where both sides even things up 50-50, and both sides seem to be in a better place than they were last December. And that's good for both Oklahoma, and that's good for Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold's girlfriend still lives there and goes to school at the University of Oklahoma. Oh, wow. And the family, everyone seems happy. The coaches seem they're saying the right things. Now, it doesn't mean the fans aren't going to give him an earful just because he's wearing the orange and blue as opposed to the crimson and cream. But I think it's going to be a very good game. But I just can't go against Oklahoma against Auburn because you're playing at home. Mateer's looked really, really good. And that defense has just been so dominating so far for Oklahoma.
That young lady, I feel for her Saturday. It won't be fun in the stadium, however that game goes. All right, Pat, call your shot on this one. Tomorrow or Saturday, Texas plays Sam Houston, then open date. The schedule had it flip-flopped in the preseason. Sam Houston on Saturday, open date to Gainesville. For Red River shootout against OU, will Arch Manning be the starting quarterback?
Ooh. I think he will be, and that might be the old circling of the wagon. And, it's just staggering. I was just talking about the SEC stats, and I'm a stat geek just like you are, Brett. And I'm sitting there looking, and he is dead last in the SEC in completion percentage, 55% for Arch Manning. Arch Manning. Design him some more screen passes or something. I mean, it's crazy to see him at that stat level. It's crazy. So, yeah, I think he's going to get a shot to play Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl. But I'm telling you what, after that, you sit there and you look at their schedule for Texas, and I know they got Kentucky after that, and then Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. But my goodness, finishing up the way they do, with Georgia and Texas A&M. I mean, I think at that point in time, Sark's going to be forced to, because you just don't know what the record's going to be. You remember how well Vanderbilt played them last year, and Vanderbilt's a good football team, and you saw that in Columbia, South Carolina, and Bama's going to see it again in a couple of weeks in Tuscaloosa. So I think Arch Manning's going to be given the benefit of the doubt, but if you don't see him perform against Oklahoma, then all bets are off, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. A lot of really fun games, especially in the SEC. Pat, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Thursday.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, guys.
Right back at you, Pat.
You bet, Pat. Have a great weekend and enjoy the games. Pat Smith with us from Jocks down in Birmingham. He was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies and the Memphis Tigers. And when you get out to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium on Saturday, you'll see all the support and signage and sponsorship that Sissy's Log Cabin that they're invested in this town in a lot of different ways, not just sports, but also in the arts and other philanthropic things. That great location at 4542 Poplar, Bill Jones and his great team, they're here to stay. You can tell, you can see and feel the commitment. Supporter of Tiger Athletics and sponsor of our look back at the weekend in the SEC every Monday at 4:30. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings, 9,000 square foot store in Laurelwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South. Sissy's, they offer a selection of estate jewelry, diamonds, and fine gifts. Official jeweler for the hometown Memphis Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum with the floor seat lounge. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry. And when are we going to give away some tickets?
Well, Brett, I'm glad you brought it up. Let's go ahead and give some tickets away. We've got a lot of tickets to give away. We're going to be giving away today, tomorrow, so make sure you're tuning in. But let's go ahead. Let's start with just 2 tickets for tomorrow's game. How about we test how fast the listeners are. The first caller to the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 901-360-8255, a pair of tickets to Saturday's game between Memphis and Arkansas. Call right now. First caller again to the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 901-360-8255. You're going to Tigers and Razorbacks.
And Brian, on the fly, make sure 2 tickets go with John for his remote tomorrow.
Definitely. Oh yeah, absolutely. We will
definitely
make sure that happens.
But let's do this for the remote tomorrow.
Right.
You got to be present to win. You got to go buy the remote to win with John and coordinate with John. Okay, I probably shouldn't have done this on there.
No. Hey, Brett, we'll make it happen. I'm glad you did it, because I think it promotes it even more, because John is going to be out there at Top Gun Memphis tomorrow. So make sure you go out there, and we'll get that set up. We'll get a 2 pair of tickets. How about Brett? Let's put even more on it. Let's do it even bigger than just 2 tickets. How about we do 2 field club tickets to Saturday's game between Memphis and Arkansas? If you are at Top Gun Memphis tomorrow for Johnny Radio's
Tiger gear.
In Tiger gear. Okay, I like that.
This is just for at the remote. Okay. You got to be in Tiger gear.
In Tiger gear at the remote tomorrow with Johnny Radio. He's going to be out there from 11 to 1. If you're out there in Tigers gear at Top Gun Memphis, you talk to Johnny Radio. You'll get 2 tickets, 2 field club tickets to Memphis and Arkansas. I mean, that's best tickets you can get for my opinion on it. So make sure you get out there tomorrow and support Johnny Radio. But we'll be giving away more tickets throughout today's show, throughout tomorrow's show as well. But right now, let's get to a break. And when we return, we're going to talk some Thursday night football tonight. The Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. We'll talk about that game next on Sports Time.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech For You. Tech For You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech For You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech For You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated. Tech For You. Technology simplified.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays. Daily specials and online ordering. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for daily specials and weekend music at the Owner's Box.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-444-2013.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Memphis is a love song to soul and style. With the full suite of sought-after designers, brilliant natural diamonds, an elegant bar, luxury VIP lounge, and more, a trip to our store is an experience like no other. Just like the city we love. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience Sissy's for yourself. Memphis is our home, and we're your jeweler.
Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian and Brett with you as we got a couple minutes left in this first hour. We're going to talk about Thursday night football tonight, the big game between Miami and Buffalo. But before we do that, we talked about it before we went to a break that tomorrow we're going to make sure Johnny Radio gives away 2 Field Pass tickets, 2 of this Field Lounge tickets to a Tiger fan that shows up to his remote tomorrow from 11 to 1 at Top Gun Memphis, wearing Memphis gear, excited about the game. You'll get 2 tickets, Field Club tickets to that game. But what we're also going to do, because we know we have great listeners that are Arkansas fans and great Arkansas fans in this area. So if you are an Arkansas fan and you go to Top Gun Memphis, Johnny Radio will also have an additional 2 tickets to give to you. So show up to Top Gun Memphis tomorrow in your Arkansas gear, give Johnny Radio a woo pig suey, and you'll get 2 tickets to Saturday's game between Memphis and Arkansas. So we're going to make sure that we got tickets for tomorrow's remote with Johnny Radio, so definitely excited. Make sure you get out for that tomorrow. And as always, we really appreciate our friends over at Sissy's Log Cabin for giving us all these tickets. All season long, we got tickets from Sissy's Log Cabin, but definitely hooking us up really well for the big one Saturday against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Well, Brett, let's talk a little bit about this Thursday night football game. I mentioned it with my top story of the day. One team that's moving in the right direction. A lot of people think that they can compete and make the Super Bowl this year. The other team, a lot of people wondering when and if that coach might be fired. So 2 teams certainly going in opposite directions.
They are, in Thursday night football. Short week scares me for a lot of reasons, and I'm very worried about Tua in these games. And remember, it was on a Thursday night in Cincinnati in 2022 when he had the big injury. I sure hope nothing like that happens to him tonight. But Buffalo, not just Super Bowl. People are expecting Buffalo to win it all this year. I think they are the the team to beat. Certainly now the new team to beat in the AFC East.
Yeah, no, they really are.
It goes through them.
It does, and it feels like you watch them. They've got it all. I mean, they've got that quarterback. They've got a run game. They've got some weapons at the receivers. They got some young weapons at the receiver position as well. That defense has looked really good. I mean, it feels like they've got the making of a team that can get through the regular season and push through the playoffs to make the Super Bowl. So I'm excited about this game. I mean, a massive line, 11.5. But I'm also excited to see or I guess I should say interested. I don't know if I'm excited, but I really am interested to see what Miami shows tonight. You mentioned that short week and some of those concerns we have with Tua. Can they start turning around? I mean, this is a big opportunity for them. If they can go out there on the road and make this a game, maybe even surprise some people, pull that upset, then this could really jumpstart them for the rest of the season.
What about Mike McDaniel in a really ugly performance tonight? To heck with Billy Napier in the open date.
Oh, yeah.
What about Mike McDaniel out about Saturday?
Yeah, I think I think we're getting close with both those coaches, and I certainly think with Mike
11.5. That's big for
that's huge.
That's big for the Nextel.com Bowl, isn't it?
Oh, I mean but especially in the NFL.
Much less a division game.
No, yeah, I mean you talk about an NFL game that's double digits. That's always hard to believe, and I just keep talking about it. I remember, 2 years ago? I mean, certainly 3 years ago when we were talking about this Miami Dolphins team. Look out. I mean, with what they've got in young talent, they've got this young coach that, is an offensive whiz kid, and look out for them. They're going to go deep in the playoffs, and they just have not been able to make any noise, and now it feels like it's a matter of time before they blow this thing completely up.
Haven't the Dolphins tried it all?
They are one of those teams that it feels like
defense, Brian Flores, offense, Mike McDaniel. I mean, just everywhere they turn.
Yeah, and nothing has really been
definitive
able to work
franchise quarterback into it now.
No, it has not worked out at all. So we'll see what happens tonight. Again, a Prime Video game kickoff set around 7:15 tonight. So hopefully we get a fun one between the Dolphins
I'll be listening.
and the Bills. Yes, you can be listening somewhere.
Kind of,
but you can watch it on Prime Video if you have access to that. Well, before we get to a break, let me remind you, perfect time to head down to Olive Branch and check out Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for all the biggest brands in Western wear. They're also the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear. Whatever you're looking for, Frontier Western has it in stock. If you need a new pair of jeans, well, Frontier Western is the place you gotta go. They've got all the brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler. You'll love how easy it is to find the perfect size and style for you. Check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dan Post, and Durango, and that's just to name a few of the brands they have in stock. Frontier's pricing, it's lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Frontier Western Store. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up this hour, get to a break, and when we return, we're talking some NBA. Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show, he joins us next.
As well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Family Leisure doesn't do anything small. It's always got to be big, just like the world's biggest spa sale. Happening right now at Family Leisure. Check this out. You can get spas starting under $3,000. Spas and even swim spas, they're up to 30% off. Floor model spas have even bigger special prices. Cold plunges are all the trend right now. Take the plunge starting under $5,000. You see a patio furniture set you like? You could get a free umbrella with it. Ask an associate for details. Plus, swimming pools are clearance price now through the end of October. Get yours before the prices increase. That is, with any big sale, special financing, it's available. The only thing small during the world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure are the prices. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Let's up your life with Let's
Surprise the family with a new club car and experience the best golf cart in the industry. A new golf cart is perfect for cruising the neighborhood, enjoying yourself at the lake, turning heads on the course, and just having something reliable to use around the yard. Ladd's has you covered with new and used golf cars. The new club car Onward, available in electric or gas and a variety of colors and features. Ladd's goes beyond the green. Whitten and I-40 or online at lads.net.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com, 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist.
It's time to hit the road with the best deals in the Mid-South, brought to you by Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV plug-in hybrid, $299 a month with more headroom and legroom and longer warranty, and lower price than Toyota RAV4 plus standard third-row seat and 2.99 APR for 60 months, available on 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV plug-in hybrid. Or take your pick from 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander or 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, just $399 a month. Not a lease. Outlander or Eclipse Cross, $399 a month. You own it. And you always find peace of mind with our 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike. Online, MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV SC 00816 MSRP 42615 Outlander SU 32343 MSRP 36105 Eclipse SCO 39973 MSRP 317 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax final license. CD for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We're still dodging a few rain showers south of Memphis as you travel down sections of 55 in parts of DeSoto County, further on down into Tate County. Again, south of Memphis, watch for a little bit of scattered rain showers as it picks up in Midtown. Here are the last few minutes. 240 at South Parkway. It's building again, going outbound on Sam Cooper, especially as you come past Perkins. Zips Car Wash is where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check out zipscarwash.com to find a location close to you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden, weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour, and we're getting closer and closer to camps opening, preseason getting started, and then we'll be at the regular season for the NBA. But we talk NBA on this show every single Thursday, and we do it with Keith Smith.
Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Keith Smith joins us now from Spot Track and the Front Office Show to talk all things NBA. Keith, thanks so much for joining us. And I don't really know where to start, but I do want to start, I guess, with the Kawhi Leonard story. It feels like we bring this up now every single week with you, but Pablo Torre, who has done the investigation, the investigative work on this, has been putting out a lot of information. It feels like every week we're getting more and more details. Adam Silver has now spoken on it a couple of times, and now we're learning that this probably won't be wrapped up until after the All-Star game, which I did not realize was happening at the Intuit Dome with the Clippers as the host. How much of a distraction will this be as we continue to get more and more information? How much of a distraction, how much of a story will this be once we actually start playing games?
Yeah, once we start playing games, once we're past media day, I don't know how big of a distraction it'll be. I assume they'll do whatever they're going to do as far as answering questions. Sometimes in these situations, teams put out like a statement ahead of media day that is, here's what we're saying. Mm-hmm. We're not going to talk about it. During media day, they may take questions. We'll see how that goes. And then the next time it'll probably come up will be if there is updates or when they go on the road and they're in front of new media that they haven't seen and talked about it with. They may ask about it, but Kawhi's already a guy, doesn't do a whole lot of talking to the media. And I think, Ty Lue is pretty good at navigating the media himself, and those are the main guys you have to worry about. So I don't know that it'll be all that big of a distraction for the team.
Yeah, and with the announcement of kind of just everybody hold on to after the All-Star game, let's put it on the slow boat, right?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, I think what that is that's the NBA indicating, hey, we're not going to rush to judgment here, because I think if they were going to rush to judgment, it'd probably be, all right, well, we're not going to punish them. We're just going to move on. And I don't think anybody should say, hey, them slow playing this a little bit means they think the Clippers are, in the clear. I think it's more of, we've got a lot to look at. And yeah, as you said, it feels like, now every couple of days we get an update from Pablo Torre, but that is how these things go. It is, hey, actually, I have a bunch of information on that too. And that's not unique to sports. That's, kind of any major story where it is, one person tells their side and then the next group of people are like, oh, hey, I have some stuff on that, and it comes out. And that's going to be how it continues to go here.
Keith, what is your sense on this story? Do you think Pablo Torre has reported / played everything, or do you think he's waiting for basically a feckless response and then him play another dagger?
Yeah, I don't know, Pablo, so I don't want to speculate too much. But I will say my guess is, he's sharing what he can when he can. I don't know that he's like holding off on things and then saying, okay, it's kind of died down, let me drop another nugget, or, the team said X, or party Y who was involved said this, and those kind of things. I think he is more of a, all right, when I have new information, I'm going to share it. And I think it is probably more that, as this goes along, more and more people are coming forward with, hey, I actually have this chunk of information for you about that story.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about, along this line, about a couple teams over the next few weeks leading up to opening night until we do our predictions. Let's start with the Clippers. What do you think their stated goal for 25-26 should be?
Yeah, try to win the title. I think this offseason made it very clear that the Clippers are geared up to make a 2-year run this season and next. All of the contracts that they signed kind of point in that direction, whether that be Kawhi Leonard's extension a couple years ago, but also James Harden's deal, Brook Lopez, Bogdan Bogdanovic has a couple years left. They got Nick Batum for a couple more years. They're really geared up to make a run this year and next year, and I think then they're going to hit a hard reset. I think at that point you're going to see them say, all right, we did what we could do with the Kawhi Leonard era here, and we got as much as we could out of it, given that he didn't play all that much and things didn't go where we wanted with Paul George. But I think that's going to be the goal is, let's try to get in the title contention, because anything less is just you're paying an awful lot of money for a team if your goal was, hey, let's just make the playoffs.
What is it at 191 Beale Street, home of the Memphis Grizzlies?
I think it's get back into the playoffs again, be a playoff team. I think for the Grizzlies, I've called it, it's not a rebuilding season, but just a reset. They moved on from Desmond Bain, got the cap sheet in order to take care of Jaren Jackson Jr. They really kind of reoriented the team around him and John Morant in moving forward along with some of their younger players. And I think the goal will continue to be, all right, let's be a playoff team. Let's continue to push. Let's try to win. And if things go our way and maybe a couple of these younger guys pop in a way that they, not that they've been bad by any means, but just pop in a way they haven't yet, we can get a little bit more. Great, then we get a little bit more. But I don't think there's going to be anybody there that's going to be content with, well, we didn't make the playoffs, but it's, X, Y, and Z. I think it is, hey, we should be a playoff team. When you have John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., that's enough to put you in the conversation. Now it's about what can the other guys do.
Mm-hmm. Keith, we had kind of a smaller trade take place last week with Kobe Buffkin being moved to the Brooklyn Nets. And we talked about the Nets in this roster a couple weeks ago of kind of all of these young guys. And this feels like kind of another one where you bring him in, you see what he can do with you. If it sticks, you keep him around. If not, then you can move on from him. But you're looking at all of these guards. I'm looking right now on ESPN on their roster. They have 6 of their 9 guards are 23 years or younger on this team. What do you make of this move and how this team's going to mesh?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be bad. Yeah. And they're probably going to be really bad. A good way to ensure you're not going to be a good team is have a whole bunch of really young ball handlers. And, they drafted 3 in the first round, and Yegor Jolman and Ben Saraf and Nolan Traore. Now you add Kobe Buffkin to the mix as well. But I think this is the Nets are gonna they're gonna take shots now. Mm-hmm. Now this is what before Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant said we're going to Brooklyn. This is what Sean Marks did and did really, really well, which was I call it the diamond mining process. He just went out there and took a whole lot of cast-offs from other places. Some of them worked out, like Joe Harris and Spencer Dinwiddie. Some of them didn't, and that was fine, and they just kind of keep moving through guys. And that's going to be what's going to happen here with this team. They're going to be a little bit of a way station for some veteran guys like we've seen with Michael Porter Jr. and Terrence Mann on this roster, and Haywood Highsmith. Those guys are not going to be part of the next good Nets playoff team. But what they're there to do is help the young kids along, help them be somewhat competitive in their games, and then you will see if you can get something for those players when it's time to trade them a little bit later down the line. And that's what they're going to do. They're just going to keep kind of cycling through guys, and it's going to lead to a lot of losing. And that's when you're on that side of things. Hey, if you're a Nets fan, what you have to do is you have to take joy in the day-to-day and look at, like, a guy like Yegor Jolman, like, all right, he is, in October and November, he would do this in this situation. Now he's learned to do this, and that's what you kind of have to take your joy in.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you mentioned Kyrie Irving there. Kyrie Irving's new team, I guess not new anymore, but now with the Dallas Mavericks, we know he'll be missing some time. I was reading a story the other day talking about this Mavericks team and kind of how they're going to use guys and how things are going to look, and they talked about Cooper Flagg and kind of what role he will play and how in Summer League, I mean, he was the primary ball handler for those 2 games that he played in for the Mavericks. Do you see a way, the story kind of pointed out how Jason Kidd put Giannis on the ball a lot in Milwaukee when Giannis was younger. Do you think that we could see Cooper Flagg be put in a spot early, especially with Kyrie off the court, as kind of that point forward role where he's bringing the ball up and being one of those primary ball handlers?
I do. I think they're going to give him a lot of reps, and it'll kind of be as much as he can handle without, like, destroying confidence or putting him in a bad position. That's why they went out and got a guy like D'Angelo Russell there, or they went out and got re-signed Dante Exum, because those guys have been around for a while. They can kind of, pitch in and handle the ball and do some things. They really like Brandon Williams, who's a young player who played for them after Kyrie went down last year, and they also really like Ryan Nembhard, Andrew Nembhard's brother, who they have on a 2-way contract. So those guys are all going to get opportunities too, but they're going to run a lot of the offense through their big guys, through Cooper Flagg, through Anthony Davis. I think people have kind of forgotten Anthony Davis while he's a terrific play finisher, he's a pretty good playmaker too. Like he's somebody you can, put the ball in his hands and run a lot of stuff through. And Jason Kidd's going to have to be fairly creative because they don't have a lot of traditional ball handling and playmaking, because they've got guys like P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, Klay Thompson. Those guys are all guys who need to be set up. They're not doing a lot of setting up for other guys, but that's going to give Cooper Flagg those opportunities. Where it gets really interesting is Dallas also wants to win, right? They want to be a good team. So that doesn't, again, go hand in hand with let's hand a whole bunch of on-ball playmaking reps to a 19-year-old. Like, that's just generally not how it goes, but that's going to be, on Jason Kidd to kind of sort through what's best for Flagg and the Mavs long-term versus, hey, we've got some veterans and we're trying to win games right now in the moment.
And for Flagg, I don't know that he's that caught up in this, but to endear yourself with your teammates, most importantly, the coaching staff, and to the fans, being able to pass that ball, not be that on ball distributor, but off the ball from the high post, how well he passes it, pass the ball and play a little defense and gain a lot of fans early.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, having seen him play so much here, because he went to school at Montverde Academy down the road from me, he's going to play extremely hard. And that's the thing we know from day one. The questions about him are going to be, all right, how quickly is he going to figure out the NBA game? How is the shot going to look? Those are the things that we're really wondering. But I think defensively, he's, you're going to get him, but you're going to get him once or twice. And then he's going to be like, okay, now I know what that is. And then he's going to make a play defensively on that. And then you're going to have all the things he's just going to do because he's an incredible athlete. He really reads the game well defensively. You're going to see him make a lot of plays. And, yeah, fans are going to be, they're going to be in love with him from moment one, assuming they're not already.
Keith, what's going to a game to see Mount Verde? What's it like? Because are there any real fans, or is it the craziest parent section ever?
Yeah, it's interesting. So you do have that. You have a lot of that, because a lot of the kids, when they come to school here, unless they're international, which there's always a handful of international players, their families will often move here to Central Florida with them while they're enrolled at Montverde. But you also have a student section there that the school has quite a number of boarders that aren't basketball players. They're just boarding students. So that's what they do when they're home. And they don't play a ton of true home games, probably maybe 8 or so a season. A lot of times they're playing in these tournaments all over the place. But it's a really cool environment, and it's somewhere where you'll see sometimes you'll see Orlando Magic people in the gym. There sometimes players and coaches, and you'll see a lot of NBA, folks not there scouting because they're not allowed to do that, but just, that have filtered in because, sometimes it's, a kid, a nephew, somebody they played with son is on the team, those kind of things. So it's a lot of fun environment. And that team that had Cooper Flagg and Derek Queen and Asa Newell, Liam McNeely on it, I mean, I watched them play against CME Academy, who would take your average high school team and probably beat them by 40. It made those guys look like they were a very weak, freshman team somewhere. That's just how loaded that Montverde team was.
Yeah, that Montverde team was incredible. Another team that I'm curious your thoughts of as we get closer to preseason, the Phoenix Suns. They've certainly retooled this roster, new head coach, but they still got that one mainstay in Devin Booker. How do you think the Suns will look, especially early in the season with some new pieces and a new head coach?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little rough. I think, one, it's just there's been a talent drain. Devin Booker is still there, and they've got some players, that you like and you're excited for, but some of these guys are younger guys. It's going to take them a little while to figure it out. And then you've got some older guys who are kind of, all right, where am I going with my career? Guys like Royce O'Neal or someone like even Mark Williams, who, if he doesn't get extended, he's going to be playing for a contract. And after everything that went on with him being traded and then the trade rescinded and all that, it's just a little bit messy. So I think, for the Suns, Jordan Ott, their new head coach, he's got to, put all of his stuff in, too, everything he wants them to do. They've got an interesting training camp. They're one of the teams that opens next week because they're headed off to Australia for a week or so of camp and games against a couple of teams in Australia. And in some ways, that's probably good for them because it's going to be, we're off. It's just us together. We're going to, really figure this out and go. But, I mean, they're going to go into a lot of games, especially in that Western Conference, where they just don't have the talent to compete night to night unless Devin Booker is playing, kind of at a, out of this world level, which we know he's capable of. But asking him to do that 75, 80 times each season, that's a big ask.
Keith Smith with us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line talking NBA. He joins us every single Thursday to talk NBA. In 2 weeks from today, right now, we'll have the first two finals. We'll have 76ers and the Knicks. A final will be in the books from Abu Dhabi, and Melbourne United and the Pelicans will already be completed. Right. No, that's 4:30 on Friday morning. Just one. I'm sorry.
Fired up. Yeah, it's going to be, it feels like at times like the finals ends, we rush right to the draft, especially this year where we had a 7-game finals, and then free agency opens. Then we get summer league, and then it feels like nothing. It just feels like we're out there wandering the desert for a while, looking for anything. But Eurobasket helped get us through, which was a lot of fun. What a great time that was watching that. Over the last few weeks here in September, but we're almost there. Training camps for 6 teams, I believe it is, or 5 teams open up next week, and then the rest the week after, and then off we go. We're almost there.
Yeah, we definitely are almost there. We also got some news earlier this week from Adam Silver about the future of this European League. He said he hopes to get it started in either 2027 or 2028, and already some big-time European teams, according to him, committed to this league. You look at teams like Real Madrid, you look at teams like Fenerbahce, those 2 teams, I believe there was 1 or 2 other teams that were involved in that as well, Barcelona, and then you've got some soccer giants like Man City and PSG that it sounds like they are going to implement a basketball program. How do you think this will look, and what do you kind of expect in those early years of this league?
Yeah, I think it's really important that they do get some established powers to come over, because it'll just lend legitimacy to it right out of the gate versus being, all brand new teams that are, just getting started, because those teams will presumably bring some of their players. What's going to be interesting, and I've talked with some agents about this, is you're probably going to see some contracts that are written here over the next 2-3 years that are, hey, I'm under contract if we're in the Euro League, but if we're in, any other league, then maybe, there's an out. And that's something you see very common in soccer contracts, but that's more with the promotion and relegation components. But we'll see how that looks with this new league. But yeah, and then when you have these soccer clubs that are, we all are like, oh man, look at how much the Dodgers are spending, and a team like Man City looks at that and kind of snickers, because they can blow right past that. In the world of soccer, like if that kind of money is going to be spent on basketball overseas, that's going to be good, and it's just going to be another place for players to play and play in some level of NBA. It'll probably be initially about the level of the G League would be my guess, because I don't know that they'll be quite at the Euro League level, but that'll probably be where it's at, and then they'll build it up from there, and it's going to be good. There's when I wrote about it a year ago about how in the NBA there's just some things going on with rosters that lead to expansion. I had a lot of people tell me, all right, well, we've got 540 roster spots in the NBA between two-way contracts and standard contracts. And there's probably a heck of a lot closer to 1,000 players in the world that can actually play near an NBA level than we are like 500. So the more good players you can get in good spots, the better the game is worldwide, and that's best for all of us who love hoops.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, and it's going to be fun to kind of see how they start putting this together and what other teams we see in this league down the road. Well, Keith, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again next Thursday.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Keith.
Keith Smith with us talking the NBA, and we're getting really close. So if we're getting close to even NBA training camp, we got to be getting close to hockey starting, Brian.
Oh, Brett, well, we have preseason games this weekend. I mean,
we did.
Camp open this week. I mean,
you got us covered?
Oh, absolutely. Brett, I'll be completely honest with you.
Who am I going to pick this year?
Well, it's a great point. I don't know.
I just can't do it again with the Maple Leafs.
No, I think
they broke my heart.
I think you got to hang up the jersey for the.
You can't hurt
Leafs.
me anymore, Maple Leafs.
No. I don't know. We'll
you
have
can't
to
do
figure
it to
out.
me.
You let me watch some of these preseason games. You let me start doing some research.
This is where you hurt me, Maple Leafs. I'm pointing to the spot.
That's exactly right.
In the heart.
That's right. But no, I'm gonna make sure you've got a team, Brett. I'll figure out what team you can really vibe with this season.
I'll take Nashville. They're in the West, right?
That's correct.
So I got to get up my new East team.
That's right. So we'll figure it out. I don't know.
And next week, Ryder Cup.
That's right. No,
the opening ceremony will be going on right now. Next week
is a busy week and a really busy weekend.
First time for the Ryder Cup to be in the New York City area since 1935.
Holy cow!
Should have saved that for a big number next week.
That's crazy.
I don't know if I can go full Ryder Cup theme week next week, though, on my big number like I'm want to do sometime.
No, that'd be a lot of big numbers you would need for the.
John Goen will join us next Wednesday at Wednesday at 5. He will be in Chicago getting ready to go into the ballpark at Wrigley Field for Cubs and who are they playing on Wednesday? Cubs and trying to find it. Mets.
All right.
Landon's Mets.
Okay.
John could be there on the night of cork popping.
Sure could. Wow, that'll be fun. All
That
right,
will be
so
fun.
that will be
On Monday, we'll visit with Doug Bell from PGA Tour Radio.
definitely.
He will be on Long Island all next week for the Ryder Cup. And then the following Monday, regardless of winning or losing, Darren Reardon from KMOX Sports will join us to wrap it up and talk about the winner of the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, so we'll have everything covered for the Ryder Cup. So definitely.
You got hockey this weekend, right?
I've got you believe
and
me,
Tigers.
Brett. Yeah, I've got Tigers and hockey covered this week.
All our ticket people so far happy?
Yeah, I think
Landon,
so far. I think,
happy winners?
I think we've got some happy
Very
winners.
happy winners.
We love happy winners. We love happy winners. We're going to have more. We're going to have ticket winners tomorrow at noon for John's Remote.
That's right. Yes, we will. So make sure you go out there. We've got a pair of tickets for a Tiger fan. Show up rocking some Tiger gear. You get Field Club tickets if you show up tomorrow to Johnny Radio's Remote at Top Gun Memphis. We've also got a pair of tickets for a Razorback fan if they show up to Top Gun Memphis tomorrow for Johnny Radio's Remote. We got you. Now those tickets, just regular tickets, you get into the building, but
on field level.
That's right. That's all.
We got to keep it to
we
home.
got to keep it to the Tigers for that one, but definitely get tickets. Cause I know tickets are not as available as you might think. Tickets going fast, so make sure you show up tomorrow to Johnny Radio's Remote.
Are we close to an sellout?
Yes, we are very
Good.
close, is what I've heard.
Good.
I think the athletic department put out yesterday that they're under 4,000. I think it's only I think today it's even less than that. So definitely moving in the right direction.
Look, I know right now people are very discerning with their entertainment dollars. They want to get a little closer to game time. Early might be for some an imposition that early kickoff time. Weather should be nice, warm, but certainly not miserable.
No, definitely not. It should be a lot of fun, and I mean that kind of early in the day, 11 a.m. So you beat some of that heat that you might get in the afternoon. So it's gonna be good.
Our weather's been very Phoenix. It hadn't been juicy, but it's been hot.
Brett, it's been weird these last couple of weeks. I mean, I was
Hot,
talking. It's been hot, but I mean, Brett, what was it? 2 weeks ago when it was freezing cold outside. I mean, I felt like it was like low 70s, and now it's like mid 90s. I don't know what we're doing.
I think Monday's the first day of fall, isn't it?
Is it?
Next Monday?
I mean, it doesn't feel like it. It's hot out there,
That
Brett.
means cool weather, doesn't it?
It's supposed to be, but I don't know if I trust it.
This hour of our show brought to you every day by the #1 Ford dealership in the Mid-South. That's Landers Ford in Collierville. And the Mid-South Ford dealers are also big sponsors of the Grizzlies. You see that with Rob and Brevin and Chris on their pregame. Built Ford tough every night on their open. Landers Ford, your trusted destination. A vehicle that fits any lifestyle. Seamless shopping experience from vehicle choice to financing and service, from the Ford Escape to the rugged F-150 to the adventurous Bronco. Every vehicle built Ford tough. Ford F-150, America's best-selling truck. SUVs like the Ford Escape, the Ford Explorer, the Ford Expedition, Ford Broncos, EVs, hybrids. They look to the future, and they take care of you with transparency, professionalism, and long-term support at Landers Ford. It's not just one car they want to sell you. They want to make you a customer forever. Oil changes, tires rotated. Go online and schedule when it suits you the best. For your busy schedule, it'll be done quickly. Landers Ford, very active in the community. They are in Collierville at the railroad track at 2082 West Poplar, or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we got to give you a preview, another big game on Saturday, Ole Miss and Tulane. We'll preview that game next on Sports Time.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Memphis football is back in action Saturday, September 20th, when the Tigers take on SEC neighbor Arkansas in the Rhythm and Roar game presented by FedEx. Kickoff is at 11, and Tiger Nation, wear blue. The first 5,000 fans will score a special T-shirt honoring the culture and history of Memphis music. Plus, enjoy Tiger Walk and stick around for live music on Tiger Lane, hosted by Stax Academy. Don't miss it. Be all in and get your tickets now at GoTigersGo.com/tickets.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad, or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Getting engaged is one of life's most spectacular occasions. And when you find your ring at Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by any of our 7 locations. Begin the rest of your lives brilliantly. Only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
All 650 acquisition fee, K4LX SE 183.3119, MSRP 24,440, K5LX ST 54.13.744, MSRP 28.750, Telluride SG 689.239, MSRP 38.255. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/2/2025. Hey, you thinking about Kia? Well, you better be thinking about Jeff Allen over at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. I got him on the line right now. What's up, Jeff Allen?
How about this, Randy? 2025 Kia K4LX, $145 per month, 39 MPG highway. 2026 Kia K5 LXS, $230 per month.
That's some great deals on K4 and K5. What else you got over there, Jeff?
How about 2025 Kia Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $298 per month. All $49.99
Now, I've got a full day with my family in
Plus
Rugby.
the all-new 2026 EV9, 72 months available with rates as low as 0%.
And they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
For a little bit more volume, trying to get out of Midtown on 240 southbound at South Parkway. We can still see some spotted showers south of Memphis that could affect your drive on 55 down in certain parts of DeSoto County this afternoon, all the way down into Tate County again. There's some scattered showers going across I-55 there south of Memphis, so be careful. Zips Car Wash is where I go, and so should you. Get upgrade, shine, and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check out zipscarwash.com for a location near you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool
Well, we got to talk about Ole Miss and Tulane, another one of those big ones on Saturday between the American and the SEC. Both these teams enter this game undefeated, and both teams playing really, really well. This one should be a really good one midday on Saturday.
Long-standing rivalry. This will be the 74th meeting all-time between Ole Miss and Tulane, a series that dates back to 1893. Wow. No, I wasn't at those games. Ole Miss leads all-time 45-28 on the field. I like how the game note says that. Where else could you lead? Oh, yeah, we wrecked our record books
exactly right.
with all the stuff. 13-2 all-time in Oxford. Last time for Tulane to win, though, was in Oxford in 1989.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one this year. You know, you look at Tulane. I think they had all the hype preseason to be that Group of 5 representative, and they're still in that driver's seat to be that Group of 5 representative. And you look at what they already had before. I think we talked about with Matty Hudak yesterday. If you looked at that roster early in the offseason and you said, yeah, this is going to be a really good team. It's a really good coach, and I think this team could be right there in the mix. And then they just add one of the better quarterbacks in college football last year in Jake Retzlaff, and he's already come in here. We talked with Matty Hudak about it yesterday of how he came in late but was still able to learn that offense and run it extremely well by game one. So, this isn't going to be a game where Ole Miss can just go out there and go through the motions and win this. And John Summerall with his time at Ole Miss, this is going to be one that he's going to want to go out there and get the win in Oxford.
In John's very first game as a college football head coach at Troy in 2022, he played Ole Miss very close that day. Everybody was expecting, big route coming off the Sugar Bowl, and did have, a lot of new at quarterback, Jackson Dart and Luke Altmaier, and that was a game. I think 28-10 the final, and toughly hard fought, and John Summerall a great coach. And this is another game because of how the new SEC scheduling model will take place. This could be it for a long time. Play Georgia Tech home and home 9, and had a little more with Tulane than just the home and home. This is a 2-1 played at home in 2021 and down there in 23, and this is the last one of those. And just quite honestly, with the Tigers and with Tulane, and maybe starting now with South Florida, there's not anybody going to want that tough of a non-conference game against a non-power team.
Yeah, we talked about
They're just not in the SEC.
No, we talked about with Memphis in that game that got moved back against Arkansas. That when you looked at Arkansas's non-conference schedule, it's very easy to see, Memphis is going to be the one that they drop here on the schedule or move from the schedule. And it's hard to, even when you think about Memphis, and it plays the same role with a lot of other teams, including Tulane, where you look at when one of these type of games gets dropped and you go out there and try to look for a different opponent, not many teams out there are going to want to play you. And so that's going to be the problem that Memphis, Tulane, USF, a handful of these Group of 5 teams are going to face in the future when it comes to scheduling, is these teams that have 9-game conference schedules, and especially in the SEC where it's 9 games and then one has to be a power opponent. You're only talking about a couple games that they have to schedule, and they're not going to want to schedule Memphis, Tulane, USF. And they shouldn't. I mean, there's no point in it. If you're going to play that tough of a conference schedule, you're going to play a power conference opponent, then those other 2 games, it doesn't surprise me at all that coaches and athletic directors would want those to be games that they really know they can win.
Ole Miss could not get the run game established last week against Arkansas, and then, it just comes a point that you have to have full recognition of, okay, we're not running it, but we can throw at will. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
And kind of did that in quarterback power, quarterback keepers, quarterback sweeps, things like that. Kawan Lacey, for the year at 290 yards, that's good for 22nd in college football. Robert Henry at UTSA, he leads college football. Ahmad Hardy, second. Bryant, 16th rushing in college football. I think your old teammate, Lincoln Perry.
Yeah, my old teammate, Landon's old teammate. We both played with Lincoln, so he's having a good year.
Lincoln Perry has played with everybody at every level,
that's
hasn't
right.
he?
He is. He's been around for a while. He got a little lucky with the COVID rules and some red shirt rules and different things in there. He's using it up, but he's having.
Is he working on his doctorate?
That's it's a great question. I would have to go and ask people, but I know he's having a good time down there, and he's looking good so far to start the season. I know there's a lot of excitement about him, but you talk about Quan Lacey and couldn't get the run game going against Arkansas, but what he showed in the first 2 games of the season, really impressive, back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. And so, I think you like what you see there. And, I think Ole Miss has shown that they're in good hands no matter what they have to do at the quarterback position.
Ole Miss fortunate to be 3-0, though, aren't they?
Yeah, no, I think they definitely are.
It could be a couple other.
Yeah.
It could be 2-1. It could be 1-2.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I think you go back to that Kentucky game on the road.
But it's not.
Yeah, I mean, you got the win, but you talk about those early turnovers that you had, and Austin Simmons, having a little bit of a turnover problem, especially early in games, and let a couple get away from him against Kentucky, and Kentucky was able to capitalize on those mistakes and really made it kind of scary for Ole Miss at a time. And then we've talked a lot about that Arkansas game and the one big play, the one big turnover that Ole Miss was able to get to wrap that game up.
I still think Ole Miss is pretty good and will have a good season. The biggest reason that I am so confident in that is because of the coach.
Yeah.
I think he is in a special league of head coaches. And last year kind of was on the wrong side of those narrow games. 2 years ago, every one of them just knocked them all off. And it was a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought then, I go, boy, I hope we're not using up all our luck this year. But, you don't give it back. You don't go, no, too lucky. Here, A&M. And the A&M game ran the lonely end play, hid Jordan Watkins over by the sideline and pulled it off successfully against A&M and Jimbo. That's using up a lot of your luck.
Yeah.
When you do that. Last year, in the 3 losses, couldn't get the room service bounce against Kentucky. The ball was loose. Couldn't get on it. The ball got loose last Saturday night. Ole Miss able to get on it. I think Ole Miss is going to put together their most complete game of the year on Saturday, getting ready for LSU. There's no sandwich game, looking back or look ahead in that building, I can assure you.
Good, because, I mean, that's the concern you have anytime you see a game like this. I mean, it has trap game written all over it, where, I mean, you've got a big test and what is a massive game for both Ole Miss and LSU every single year, just a week later. And so, that is definitely a concern. But like you said, Lane Kiffin, since he's gotten to Ole Miss, he has gotten the job done and has looked really, really good at the coaching position. And so, yeah, I'm pretty confident that he'll have his guys ready to go against Tulane. I think, again, going back to I don't want to make it such a big storyline, but, I think John Summerall and his time spent at Ole Miss.
There. It's a big storyline.
It's definitely there, and I think Lane Kiffin is going to make sure that, his guys know, even though, those guys weren't around when Summerall was there, that, hey, this is a guy that spent time here. He's been in this place. He's not going to be the head coach ain't going to be intimidated when he walks into this stadium, and he's going to be ready to go. So we got to be ready to go. So I think this is going to be awesome. I love how it stacks up where, you'll just be getting done with Memphis and Arkansas. You'll be wrapping up there right when this game starts. So it'll be really fun to watch both those games.
It will. And I bet you the Memphis-Arkansas game, that game will be prominently on at a lot of tailgate spots in the Grove. Brian, I've mostly joked about, we ask athletes and coaches questions, and then when they give us an answer, oh, you shouldn't have said that.
Right.
We don't like that.
Right.
And it's why so many of them are so guarded and protected and speak in coach speak. So Lane Kiffin was asked about John Summerall, and he gave an answer, and he will especially when he lets the guard down, and people didn't like his answer. That he's playing head games, that John Summerall is going to be in the SEC next year. No, he's being complimentary of a young coach that everybody knows will go to the top of this profession.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see just watching a game. If you just sit down and watch a Tulane game, I think you can see that John Summerall, he's got it as a head coach and is going to be at that next level. And then if you really kind of start paying attention to what's going on down at Tulane, then you really can see it. So no, I don't think anything there of trying to play mind games or anything like that. I think Lane Kiffin sees something that a lot of people see in John Summerall.
And the Kentucky fans, if they don't get him, they will be crushed, because he's kind of been out there warming up in the bullpen for a couple years now for them.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, that would be I think it'd be a great hire for Kentucky if they make the move and he's the guy that they're able to go out there and get. I mean, I think that'd be huge for Kentucky, and we'll see what the rest of the year looks like for Kentucky, but doesn't look like it's 2-1, but it doesn't look like it's going in a great direction with what the SEC schedule looks like. But I think he could immediately get to Kentucky and get a lot of excitement back in that program.
I think he could make a lot of excitement at a couple other places in the SEC that might be hiring a coach come Thanksgiving weekend in December 5th or so. But he wants to win for Tulane on Saturday, 2:30 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5. He wants to win with Jake Retzlaff, and you know the game plan's got to be let's try to do just what Taylor Green did.
Yeah, and we talked again yesterday with Maddie Hudak about it, and she said that I think the thing that surprised a lot of people at Tulane was how agile and mobile he was as a quarterback, and so use his legs, use that arm, and I think Tulane could make some noise here and make this a difficult game for Ole Miss.
Ole Miss Tulane preview brought to you by Janelle and Jarrett Carter. Their great business is East Memphis Ace Hardware. We've wanted that old-fashioned hardware store, and we've had it. We have it. Go by and enjoy it. Shop locally with your friends at East Memphis Ace Hardware at 5143 Quince in the Quince Station Shopping Center, where the nice people are helpful and very knowledgeable, and they want you to be a part of their customer loyalty program that will make and save you money. Plants, tools, lawnmowers, grills, Big Green Eggs, Traeger grills, gas grills, charcoal grills, flat top grills, Blackstone, Weber, they've got them all for the weekend and the weeks ahead and the good times ahead. East Memphis Ace Hardware with everything you need to get cooking, knowledgeable advice on how to choose the perfect grill for you, outdoor power equipment for all those to-do lists this weekend, paint and supplies, tools, decorate your yard for football season and any season with Tigers and all the SEC yard decor, outdoor living with patio furniture, coolers, all the great brands like Toro and Milwaukee and Steel. Ace really is the helpful place in East Memphis Ace Hardware, the local friendly place at 5143 Quince in the Quince Station Shopping Center. Go in and tell Janelle and Jarrett Carter that you listen to us talk about them right here on Sports 56. They're at Quince and White Station.
Let's go ahead and get to another break. When we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Don't miss the 53rd Annual Pink Palace Crafts Fair at Audubon Park, September 26th through the 28th. Bring the whole family and enjoy 3 days of food, live music, and of course, shopping for one-of-a-kind arts and crafts from across the Mid-South. It's a Memphis tradition you don't want to miss. The Pink Palace Crafts Fair, September 26th through the 28th at Audubon Park. Sponsored by First Horizon Foundation, Friends of the Pink Palace, and your friends at Sports 56.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Virgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra cart fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from.
Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday.
Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi. Miramichi.
Your journey starts here at Gossett Hyundai on the Pike, and it's a dream come true. 2025 Hyundai Sonata, buy it for $27,689, or we Gossett at $273,61 a month. How about 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE? We Gossett $30,775, or just $339 a month, or 1.99% for 60 months is available. And right now, Gossett Hyundai on the Pike's got 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe XRT all-wheel drive loaded, $349 a month, plus America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Hyundai, 1870 Covington Pike, or visit online 24/7 at HyundaiGossett.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month lease, $10,000 per year, zero acquisition fee. Sonata SA516 776, MSRP 28,810. Tucson TH6 19,518, MSRP 31,755. Santa Fe SH11 0054, MSRP 43,635. Must finance through Hyundai. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
All right, Brett, my big number today, it comes from a tweet I saw this morning from Jonah Dillon about the Memphis and Arkansas game. The big number is 2. When you look at career games played at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium between the two quarterbacks that will face off against each other on Saturday, one has 2 career starts, the other has 1. The one that has 2 career starts is the visiting quarterback, Taylon Green. We've talked about it. Obviously, when he was at Boise State, they played the Tigers in a road game at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Last year, Arkansas played in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, so twice that he's played there. The starting quarterback for the Memphis Tigers, because of the way the schedule has played out this year, they played 3 games this season, but only 1 has been a home game. Brendan Lewis obviously started in that game. So 2-1 on career starts between the 2 starting quarterbacks, and the one that has more is the visiting quarterback.
Jonah is on top of it, pouring out great stuff leading up to the big anticipated 11 o'clock kick on Saturday morning between the Razorbacks and the Tigers. And I'm really sad I can't be there. We'll be in Oxford at our game against Tulane, but that's going to be fun. I know a lot of people coming over on Friday. The rendezvous on Friday night will be solid, Razorback. It'll be at Sea of Red, and a lot of people getting a lot of great stuff from the rendezvous to tailgate out on Tiger Lane on Saturday. My big number is a year, 1947. Arkansas played twice in Memphis in 1947 on back-to-back weeks. Remember, War Memorial Stadium didn't open until 48. And Fayetteville was very small, no lights, long, hard. No, I don't know how you got to Fayetteville in 1947. I really don't. So they played in back-to-back weeks at Crump Stadium. Lost to Texas the first game, and the next week beat Ole Miss.
All right. Okay.
Though Texas, that was their two biggest games. Ole Miss was bigger for them then than playing Texas.
Wow. Holy cow. That is that's insane.
Yeah.
Lots changed.
Can't imagine that happening.
I was about to say a lot
even in stadium renovation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I don't think you'd ever see that. But hey,
it's going to be fun Saturday.
Now Saturday, I mean all day. You just look from a just football watching standpoint. A lot of great games on Saturday throughout the day. But then you look at it locally, and you look at these games: Memphis and Arkansas. You've got Ole Miss and Tulane. You even got what we learned a little bit ago. I mean, honestly, what I learned today, I'll go ahead and share it today. UAB and Tennessee are playing this weekend. UAB's the American.
Part of the
American
challenge?
SEC challenge, yeah. So, but we won't claim that. So here's the thing, Brett. If UAB wins somehow, if they beat Tennessee, then we claim it.
You claim.
We definitely claim it. But if they lose, if they get embarrassed, and Memphis wins and Tulane wins, we don't claim them. We 2-0.
It's like sometimes when you have let's say the SEC, ACC challenge, we have those games over, 2 or 3 nights?
That's right, yeah.
But then there are matchups like
Sure.
Georgia and Georgia Tech every year.
That's right, yeah.
That are ACC, SEC that's not part of the
I
challenge.
see.
So
Okay, I like where your head's at. So depending on how that game plays out, may or may not be a part of the challenge. We'll let you know on Monday. How about that?
I'm calling my shot now on my top story of the day tomorrow. We've got games this weekend in college football that we would have never had 20 and 30 and 40 years ago. Conference realignment forced a lot of these matchups, but there are even some others scheduled that you never get that. It would be bowl games once upon a time to have these matchups.
Yeah. It's a good point, and I think it's awesome to see.
Nebraska and Michigan?
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's gonna be
Undefeated Nebraska.
That's right. Not getting enough love, Brett. Nobody's
not getting any love.
Nobody's showing the love.
They've done it to
for
themselves.
Nebraska. They have.
They've got to win it all. They've got to win it. The respect back.
They do, and maybe moving in the right direction, but they certainly are not there yet. It's going to take some time for them to get that respect back. Yeah, but it's going to be a really, really fun weekend around football, especially with this college football slate from 11 a.m. You were talking about it yesterday. I mean, we got the late night game between Michigan State and USC on. Is that game on Fox? Is that a Fox game?
Michigan State and USC.
Yeah.
10 p.m. on
That's crazy.
Fox 13.
That's crazy.
On Fox, anywhere there's a Fox.
Yeah, I mean that's insane. So I mean, quite literally from
now, Brian, that game when it ends, let's say 12:45, 12:50. That's even late for you, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's late for me. Believe me. I was telling Landon.
You know what it is for me?
It's
tomorrow.
I was about to say it's not even. It doesn't even compute.
It's time machine for me.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I was telling Landon the other day that a couple of years ago I'd be able to stay up and watch Hawaii football games. I can't anymore. I mean, it's way too late. I mean, they're starting at
I still do it.
11 o'clock at night. I just can't do it to myself. I gotta go to.
I'm up till 1 a.m. finishing that game.
Every week.
I try. Well, it's not.
Well,
every
that's
week
only if
it's
a home game in Hawaii.
Yeah,
oh, that's true.
Away games are a little bit better.
A little bit, but it's hard.
Still Pacific time.
Their travel.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. But I try to stay for like the first half, see how it's going, and then I'll wake up in the morning and see the score.
You know, we hadn't heard any boo-hooing and crying about Big Ten travel yet.
No, we haven't. Get ready. I mean, I think.
And when we hear it, when you hear the coach complaining about it on their Monday availability or whatever, go look at their one-loss record.
Oh yeah,
and that'll tell you who's the maddest about it.
Yeah, well, you're already starting to hear some about it with Michigan State and USC. I mean, the Michigan State not
Mick Cronin crying yet?
Yeah, no, but I think his schedule this year is a lot less travel involved. I think it's a lot of home and California teams.
Statue of Liberty.
She did. Saw it
10 times last year.
Saw it too many times for his liking. I've never seen Statue of Liberty, Brett. I don't know if I would. I think I'd be fine seeing it a couple times.
Right, I have, and it was poignant. I went out on a Saturday morning, on the little cruise boat out to Ellis Island, out to it, and had been at brunch at the World Trade Center.
Oh, wow.
And standing out there, I can feel myself now looking up.
Wow.
Wow, I was just there, eating breakfast a couple hours ago.
Holy cow.
And now up there doesn't exist.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, how things have changed. That's crazy. Yeah. That's a really good story. But no, I haven't been there. But I think I'd be fine with seeing it a couple times in a short period of time. But Mick Cronin certainly not a fan.
He was no fan.
No, he one time's enough for him, which I guess I can understand. But before we get to a break, let me remind you the weekend is almost here. Maybe you're looking for a night out. Maybe you want a place where you can catch all of the games. Well, I've got the place. Catch all the action at Bell Tavern, located at 117 Barbaro Alley. Bell Tavern is the perfect bar for a night out with your friends or just to catch a game. It's not one of those loud, rowdy, obnoxious sports bars that you're probably used to. You can enjoy a night at Bell Tavern with one of their great cocktails in their quiet, dimly lit bar. It's not just the drinks. Bell Tavern has the best bar food in Memphis. Pair one of their gourmet burgers with the coldest beer in the city for the perfect night out. For more information about our friends over at Bell Tavern, give them a call, 901-249-6580, or go online to belltavern.com. Let's get to a break, and when we return, we're going to talk Tigers. We'll preview this big-time game against Arkansas. We'll talk about what the Tigers did last week against Troy. We'll do all that in our next segment. Greg Gaston, he joins us next.
Memphis football is back in action Saturday, September 20th, when the Tigers take on SEC neighbor Arkansas in the Rhythm and Roar game presented by FedEx. Kickoff is at 11, and Tiger Nation, wear blue. The first 5,000 fans will score a special T-shirt honoring the culture and history of Memphis music. Plus, enjoy Tiger Walk and stick around for live music on Tiger Lane, hosted by Stax Academy. Don't miss it. Be all in and get your tickets now at gotigersgo.com/tickets.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com, 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist.
Does your system sound like this? Hi, this is Lauren Choate from Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. If your HVAC system is over 10 years old, then it's probably out of warranty. Don't wait for it to break down and cost you expensive repairs, but be proactive with this incredible deal from Choate's. Right now, for a limited time, for the first 50 customers, we're giving a free 10-year labor warranty plus $1,000 off a brand new Carrier system install. That's peace of mind and big savings. And that's not all. Thinking about a backup Generac generator or maybe endless hot water with a Rinnai tankless system? You'll also get $1,000 off plus a free 10-year labor warranty on those too. Since 1958, Choate's has been serving the Mid-South with old-fashioned service you can trust. So turn to the experts with Choate's and call 347-8086 and let our family serve your family.
Looking for a new ride for less than $5 a day? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 2025 Kia K4 LX 145 a month, 39 mpg highway. 2026 Kia K5 LXS 230 a month, and 2025 Kia Telluride LX front-wheel drive 298 a month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease. Plus, we got it the all-new 2026 EV9, 72 months available, and rates as low as 0.00. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, K4 LX SE 183 MSRP 24,440, K5 LX ST 54 744, MSRP 28,750, Telluride SG 689 239, MSRP 38,255. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through KFA. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/2/2025.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're trying to clear up an accident. It's 55 northbound on that ramp to 240. Again, it's not causing a backup, but it's in a tricky spot there in that curve as you come off 55, just up from Brooks and Elvis Presley. As traffic gets heavier here in the last few minutes on 240 eastbound from Mill Branch as that traffic gets onto 385 Billmorris Parkway going outbound. Zips Car Wash is where I go, and so should you. Get upgrade, shine, and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check out zipscarwash.com for a location near you. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to sports time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Thursday afternoon. We're about to talk some Tiger football with Greg Gaston, but before we do that, while we're getting him on, let's go ahead and give some more tickets out. How about a 4-pack of those Field Suite tickets let's do second caller to the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line, 901-360-8255. 4 tickets to that Field Club for Saturday's game against Arkansas. Call in. Landon will get a hold of you, but let's go ahead and get to Greg Gaston.
From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Gaston joins us now to talk some Tigers. It's the big week against Arkansas. But before we dive into that game, Greg, let's talk about what happened against Troy. A 28-7 win. We know Troy's starting quarterback went down early with an injury. That changed a lot of what that offense wanted to do for Troy. But what jumped out to you about that game? Do we have Greg with us?
We do.
Greg, you
hey,
there?
Greg.
I think we're having trouble with Greg. Greg, you there?
I'm here. You
okay,
got me?
there. Yeah, we got you now.
Fire away.
Got some trouble there.
I was kidding around. I said that let me put me on hold for a second because I want to win those tickets. That you're
Well,
giving
the
away.
fine print gets you.
Yeah,
The bold print gets you. Not even the fine print gets you, Greg.
Yeah, it's too bad.
That is a nice little 4-pack you guys are giving away to some lucky caller. But no, to answer your question, yeah, it changed the complexion of the game. You get ready for this quarterback that they think has a lot of possibilities, can run the ball, can throw the ball. Same deal last year with Goose, and he comes into the game last year. He gets knocked out early. Deja vu can't happen over again, can it, Yogi Berra? Yeah, it can. It happened again, and they knocked him out. And the backup quarterback just did not have the ability to throw it down the field. He wasn't the runner that Goose was. He was not the field general he was. He wasn't. They weren't able to utilize the speedy receivers. And Memphis pinned their ears back, and they got to him. There was a lot of TFLs. They got to the quarterback. They made one mistake Memphis did on offense with Lewis getting that ball stripped from him that was returned for a touchdown for the only points for Troy. Memphis did have a little bit of stagnant offense in the second half, but 28-7, you'll take that any day of the week. I thought it was going to be a little bit tougher competition. If that quarterback was in, maybe it would have been, maybe not. But either way, they took care of business, and the defense has been staunch so far for Memphis.
Greg, you've covered a lot of Tigers football. You've been around here well over 30 years. I've said consistently all week, no, not even close. The Tigers don't have to play their best game of the program's history, not even close. But I do think they have to play the best game of the Ryan Silverfield years. If you agree, please do. Agree or disagree with that?
Well, I'd have to go back and look at every single game that they played so far, but I don't think that's a ludicrous statement by any stretch of the imagination. This is a good Arkansas team. You saw them up close and personal against Ole Miss, and who knows if they don't fumble that ball, if they don't walk away from Oxford with a dub. They have
I know. They do. That was the backbreaker.
Right, and Talon Green is much improved. We just had our coaches' meetings earlier today. They know it. I know it. You know it. Everybody knows that this guy's not the same quarterback we saw a couple of years ago when he was rotating with their current quarterback. And he had actually a pretty good game against Memphis, but people think that he was benched. That was not the case. They were rotating the two quarterbacks. And he has improved vastly because here's a guy who will stand in the pocket depending on what the rush is. And if they come all out and try to blitz them, he'll go around them. And when you're 6'7", and you have those lengths that he has, those steps are
10-yard strides. Matt Jones type runner.
Matt Jones. That's so funny because Houston Nutt, who was on my show earlier this week, brought up Matt Jones.
Did he good
when talking about him? Yeah, brought up Matt Jones. But you're right. You 2-3 steps, he's gone 10 yards, and so there's the danger of him beating you with his legs. There's the danger of beating you with his arm. He has become a really good, accurate thrower. We know he has a cannon of an arm. So, yeah, they better be ready to go. They better be prepared. And, yeah, it will be a huge challenge. Now, I still think there are unknowns for this Memphis team through 3 weeks that we don't completely know. We know that the defense is playing exceptionally well right now, but that was also against Georgia State, Troy, Chattanooga, taking nothing away. They're jumping up here as they play this SEC team that is really a good offense led by Bobby Petrino. We know what Bobby Petrino has done over his career as a coordinator especially, but as a coach as well. So, yeah, to answer your question, it could very well be where they have to play their best game to knock this team off. But again, Memphis has had success in beating some teams from the SEC at home. They have had some success recently beating some Power 4 conference teams like Iowa State in the bowl game, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, like beating West Virginia last year, and the Frisco game. But the thing is, people will downplay that because it's the bowl games and players come, players go. This is a regular season game, albeit a non-conference game. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it would be a huge feather in their cap as they go in as a 7.5-point home dog to knock off the Hogs.
And we sure don't want you to, but in the coaches' meeting today, they have to be flummoxed by how to defend Taylen Green. I know Ole Miss, they couldn't blitz him. They couldn't cover him. They dropped back in coverage. It opened the field up. There were it looked like he was back in punt return with the grass that was in front of him, Greg. So I don't know what you decide to what are we going to stop first? What do we sell out to do?
Right. You got Mike Washington Jr. is a very capable running back. I think he averages about 9 yards a tote. They got a wide receiver named Omega Blake, who actually came from Charlotte, who is a very capable wide receiver. They got some other weapons. I think they have more weapons offensively than they've had maybe since Pittman's been there. You can answer that better than me. It just seems like they have more offensive weapons.
And a salty offensive line. And it's one thing in the Sam Pittman years, especially the last two, that I was shocked by because his calling card, what he is best at, and he was legendary O-line coach at a lot of places in the SEC and beloved at all those places. And that's why he got the Arkansas job, is just their personal affinity for him. But his offensive line the last year or two has not been good. I know they committed in the portal, and I think it really provides a lot of protection for Taylen Green for him not to get hit so hard.
Yeah, you better have a good offensive line when you're going up against that defensive front for Arkansas, who are absolutely humongous. But you got, like you said, the old salty veteran offensive line head coach now in Sam Pittman. And then remember, Ryan Silverfield, a lot of his career has dealt with offensive linemen as well. He was the O-line coach for Mike Norvell before taking over when Mike went to Florida State. So you got a couple of guys who know how important that offensive line is. And that Arkansas offensive line is very, very good. Memphis's offensive line, I think, has the ability to be very good, but they're still coming together. They have two guys that are back from last year, three newcomers, and they're trying to mesh.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest question is how will the offense look against this defense? I know we've talked to a couple of guests about it this week. It seems like maybe getting stuff going through the air could be a big emphasis, or trying to get that going could certainly open up the run game a little bit more, because we know Memphis has been run first. I think opposing teams know Memphis is going to want to run the ball. How have you seen this receiver room continue to kind of progress as we are now through 3 games of the season?
Well, your analysis is spot on, Brian. There's no question about it. When you have guys that clog up the middle trying to run the ball, it's going to be extremely hard for Memphis to run up the middle. Now, they will do some things to get to the outside, and you could see some misdirection and things of that nature that maybe we didn't see in the first few games, but it is extremely tough to go up against a defense that includes a guy that's 6'5", 387 pounds right in the middle. You might as well put a wall there. So I do believe that you're going to see more of the passing game. People wonder, and they question, can Brendan Lewis throw it down the field? Well, he certainly has the ability to do so. We just haven't seen it because they haven't had to use that. So you're going to see more of that passing game, in my opinion, this week. Now, the receivers stepping up. Well, we've seen Braham. He has kind of broken out from all the rest of them, along with Jamari Hawkins, and I think those two guys are their go-to guys. Brady Cluse had the great catch last week. He's done a pretty nice job. But I think it's Braham and Hawkins that you'll see the most of. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little more C.J. Smith at the receiver position because of his athleticism and ability to go deep. Maybe you'll see a couple deep balls. But that goes back to the Memphis offensive line against that big defensive front and really active linebackers to be able to protect for Lewis. The one thing, though, that you have with Lewis that you didn't have with Seth is the ability to really get out of the pocket and run, read options and RPOs and things of that nature. So you can roll him out and throw him as well. But the offensive line is going to move with him. They're going to have to protect him. But I think you're spot on. You're going to see, I think, more passing than we have seen at any point this season.
I've said all week and touched on, I think the Tigers have to come up with 3 turnovers that directly leads to 21 points. Not get a turnover and then, run 5 or 6 and out and then punt. No, it's got to be cashed in. Maybe not scooping scores or pick sixes, but it's got to be cashed in. Preferably not you'll take them any way you can get them, but from the Tiger perspective, get that turnover and go on a 4, 5, 6 play drive that chews up 4.5, 5, 6 minutes and then play some defense. Then they've got to see 5 Arkansas punts, 3 turnovers, 5 punts, game in the high 20s, maybe low 30s, and hang on till the clock hits 0.
Dating back to 2023 when they won at UAB, I think that was Dilfer's, the first time they played Dilfer, if I'm not mistaken. Memphis has forced at least 1 turnover in 19 of its 23 games. They live off turnovers during that time period, 40 takeaways, 22 picks, and 18 fumble recoveries. I think you're absolutely spot on with the turnovers. They have to force turnovers. You win +2, +3 in the turnover department, you got a great chance. So I think that's going to be very advantageous. The coaches certainly know that as well. You're going to have to try to limit possessions for Arkansas as much as you can, and the way you do that is by turning them over. Now, if you could stop them, that would be nice as well, and force them to punt. Those punts, we'll see if that happens. But the turnovers could result in direct points, short fields, and things of that nature. So, yeah, Brett, I agree with you 100% as far as that is concerned. Look, I think Memphis, personally, I think they're going to have to score 35 to have a chance to win this game. I think it's going to be that type of game. I think the defense, while playing great right now, truly is not. Now, maybe we're going to all be wrong, and that defense is as staunch as we've seen statistically through the first 3 games. But it's hard to gauge it after those 3 games as well as they played and go, okay, they're going to stymie this one of the best offenses in the country. Let's see what happens. But my guess would be that they're going to struggle with Taylor Green. He's going to be able to spark that offense. They're going to score some points, and Memphis is going to have to match. I think it's Memphis's offense versus Arkansas's defense. I think that's the story within the story of the game.
Greg, if the Tigers pull it off, two-part question here. A, would the goalpost come down? B, would this be considered Ryan Silverfield's best win?
It depends because if Arkansas loses, of course, they won't be running out to tear down the goalpost. I guess it all matters how many Tigers fans there are and how many Razorbacks fans there are.
What do you think the percentage will be? Brian and I discussed this early in the week. We said 60-40 Tigers, and that's fine.
I'm hoping it's a little more than that, 75-25 Memphis. But I know as of yesterday there were still a few thousand tickets left. I think they will be scooped up. I predict that it will be a sellout crowd. But as far as how it breaks down, I mean, you know all those Arkansas guys. I know there are some that texted into our show and said we've already purchased, and we purchased through the University of Memphis. It was cheaper than going through Arkansas and maybe easier as well. But we know how many Arkansas fans are in this area. I'm thinking 75-25 Memphis. But to answer your question, I don't know. Would they tear down the post? Arkansas is not ranked. I hope they wouldn't. But and the second part of your question was?
Is it his biggest win?
Yeah, I think it would be. He's got to win over Mississippi State. He's got and they weren't great. He's got the win over Florida State. They weren't great. Got wins in conference over Tulane and some of those teams that were really good wins. But you look at the SEC and you measure. It's a measuring stick. And if we take those bowls out of the way, again, they were nice wins in the bowl. Take nothing away. Do not take anything away from beating Iowa State and West Virginia. And I know for sure that those 2 games, because I was on the sideline, those guys didn't have a ton of players that were missing. I know Iowa State had that great defensive back who didn't play. But your point is well taken. I'd have to go through all the games. But Boise was a nice win, too. But this would be, I think, would be the biggest.
Well, SEC really resonates with a lot of people in around. And Greg, you can get ready for this. Regardless, when it hits all zeros, the chant SEC will ring out. Arkansas either proudly non-conference and kind of sticking it to Memphis, and if the Tigers win it, derisively and really sticking it to Arkansas.
Yeah, so either way, good pub for the SEC for Greg Sankey.
Well, it's better pub when it's happy. How come we're starting to see these coaching moves? I think we could even have more. UCLA has made a coaching move, Greg, and school hadn't even started at Westwood. If Ryan Silverfield wins this game, there's two in the area, John Sumrall and Ryan Silverfield. I think they should be on every AD short list. John is. Why isn't Ryan Silverfield?
Yeah, we talked about this on our show today when Harold joined us for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl hour, and I don't get it. You have Jeff Traylor has been talked about. Obviously, Sumrall is being talked about a lot, and deservingly so. The other guy that's being talked about now is Alex Golish for what South Florida's done this year. But he hasn't won a championship yet in the conference, and Sumrall hasn't won a championship, right? Yeah, he's only been there a few years. But Ryan Silverfield, maybe because he's been there 6 years and now in year 7, they haven't gone to the championship game, that hurts him. But I don't know. Most of the time we see these lists, and I think his name has come up with Virginia Tech, one of many names on there, and maybe even UCLA. But before that, we really didn't see his name. Those names are created by people in the media, right? This is not a direct list coming from the school and their searching firm, or if it's just the AD putting together a list. When they look at Memphis, I don't think they're looking and going, well, they haven't gone to a championship game. I think just for whatever reason, I can't pinpoint it, why his name doesn't come up on these lists. I think his record, his games against the pretty good teams, he's done well. They haven't really been waxed by teams. I don't know. I don't have an answer for this, but it's like Golish is the hot dish of the day. Sumrall has the respect. Even Traylor for a long time, who probably isn't going anywhere. I don't. That's a long-winded answer that did not answer your question. I have no idea, but I would suspect if Ryan Silverfield and the Tigers go out there and beat Arkansas on Saturday, as these openings continue to happen, Ryan Silverfield's name is going to come up a lot more than it has.
And should. Greg, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, in the 73 Final Four in St. Louis, it's been reported and told many times that J.D. Morgan, the very powerful, influential athletics director at UCLA then, that's when he fell in love with Gene Bartow and told people, voiced to a lot of people, that whenever we have a coaching change at UCLA and John Wooden retires, that's who I want as our head basketball coach. Well, it was 2 years later at the Final Four in 75 in San Diego that happened, and they, after being rebuffed by Denny Crum, and that was not the athletics director, J.D. Morgan, that was Sam Gilbert and some others kind of on their own mission doing. Yeah, they're on it. Well, Sam Gilbert was paying all the bills and buying all the players. So he was trying to get Denny Crum. Crum wasn't leaving Louisville, so they went and hired Gene Bartow. Coach Bartow had left Memphis the year before that for that one and only year at Illinois, and that was a step down. Going to Illinois from Memphis then wasn't even close to ladder. It was down because he got aggravated over now a really small amount of money. I contend that if Ryan Silverfield wins Saturday in front of Hunter Yurachek, he ought to have him at the top of his list if he's going to do anything at the end of this year.
Wow. Interesting. I know that, look, there are some people that believe the writing's been on the wall for, look, Sam Pittman, right, every year. Oh, he's going to lose his job? Nope, he doesn't lose his job. He does enough to keep his job. He is a well-liked, you know this, he is a well-liked coach by the Arkansas deep-pocketed boosters. All it takes is one, but most of them like this guy. But you also don't like mediocrity or just maybe barely above mediocrity. To me, I think they lose this game to Memphis. That starts the wheel rolling. Now, people say, well, maybe it started last week with the loss. No, I mean, it's Ole Miss in Oxford, and Ole Miss was the favorite. You lose now to Memphis, with all due respect, you're a 7.5-point road favorite. And they've had a lot of success at that stadium, albeit in AutoZone Liberty Bowl games. I think it gets the clock moving, and everything will, I think, eventually turn against Sam Pittman, because I don't see Arkansas rolling through that SEC schedule. So I think that gets it going. Now, the Ryan Silverfield part, I haven't put 2 and 2 together, but Juracek is right there, and he's watching, and he sees what Memphis is doing. A lot of times it's out of sight, out of mind, or maybe insight, and then you think of things. Like if you see it right in front of you. That's why I think so many of those ESPN guys, those coaches that have been fired or whatever it is, they're seen every night.
They're out there.
They hear their analysis,
They're
and they're
familiar.
out there. And that's why they get jobs all the time, recycled or sometimes first-time jobs. If you see a guy in front of you beat your team with less money, and then you start to say, oh, wait a minute, maybe we're missing something with this guy. So
If he
again,
can do
what
it
you're
there,
saying
what could he do here? Yeah.
Exactly. What you're saying is not
even crazy old Herm Edwards got him a job.
They all did. Don't get me started. I go off on that all the time on the show.
And you're
it's
right
good
on
for
it.
them.
Let me throw this at you, Greg. Do you think? I don't think it's the predominant reason, but do you think some of the lack of Ryan Silverfield being appreciated, being bandied about for other jobs, is that so much of the firepower, so much of the energy here, and maybe even nationally, is spent on protecting and all the King's horses and all the King's men propping up Penny?
It doesn't help. It doesn't help. But obviously, that was still going on with Norvell, and Penny was just getting really rolling with his job. But if I got the year straight, but Norvell was able to turn that into a Florida State job, and Mike Norvell was so well loved here in Memphis, and nationally they jumped on him real quick. Ryan, for whatever reason, there are some people that just they don't like him. He's a great guy. He's a family. He's got the twins now. I like dealing with him, but if you don't like the coach because you think Memphis should win championships, then you have the right to do so. They haven't. They haven't gotten to the championship game. If you don't like him just because you don't like him, like I don't like his personality, that's weak. That's really weak. Or if you don't like him because, well, and we know that this is going on. We love Penny in in basketball, we want them to get all the resources, so that means we don't like Ryan and basketball and football. Hopefully that is not the case, but we know that there is a little faction that for some reason can't love both. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this, that he doesn't get, I think, the respect that he deserves for what he has done after Norvell left, to keep this torch aflame, to keep this flame going. Yes, they want to hit higher heights conference-wise, but they've done pretty darn well so far to keep up with where they were at the height of Norvell.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see. If this year goes, I think the way a lot of us think it will, then I think Ryan Silverfield's name will definitely be on some lists out there. But Saturday's going to be a lot of fun, Memphis and Arkansas. Greg, as always, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next Thursday.
Thanks, great guys. And Brett, enjoy Oxford with the Tulane game. That should be fun as well.
It will be fun in our neighborhood. Greg, you enjoy Saturday. Look forward to watching some of that game early and then talking about it next week with you. Thank you, Greg, so much.
Thanks,
Sounds
Greg.
great, guys. Take care.
You got it.
Greg Gaston joining us every single week to talk Tigers, in that segment brought to you by Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet, new or used? Well, they've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or online at sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road. And it is going to be a lot of fun Saturday between the Tigers and the Razorbacks. And I think you and Greg both said it really well, and I do think that if this season goes the way we think it's going to go, I think Ryan Silverfield's name will be on there. I think, at the end of the day, we've seen it. There have been teams that have taken a look at Ryan Silverfield, and, I think that will happen again this year if he continues to do to win and has another one of those big seasons.
And look, let me be clear. I do not know him at all. I mean, not at all. I have never met Ryan Silverfield, but I've seen what he's done, and I love what he's done. And I've also seen the apprehension or lack of really falling fully in love with him by a lot of the Tiger fans. I think a lot of it is what I alluded to with Greg in my question. I think so many people, I got to spend all my energy and all my resources on defending Penny. And I don't know why you can't have time to like and enjoy and defend and vouch for both. But it doesn't seem like it's as with as much gusto as it is for Penny. Look, and a lot of that is it's Penny Hardaway, hometown product. But then you get to the product on the playing court and the playing field. Saturday, if he wants to, again, I do not know him. If he wants to leave Memphis, Saturday is a job interview for him with Hunter Yurachek, potentially.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think, has certainly a good opportunity to get out there and do that. And, I think you look at Ryan Silverfield and the job he's done here, the only thing that he hasn't done is win a conference championship, get in a conference championship game. And, but I don't think that is a thing that's really keeping him back from another job. And, I think you hear people talk about the, competition he's playing. Ryan Silverfield's not making the schedule. I mean, he's not out there, making these games and putting them on. He's going out there and his teams are winning the games that are on the schedule. And I think Tigers have a really good opportunity to get to the conference championship game and maybe change some of what really feels like one of the only flaws about his time at Memphis is not getting to that conference championship game. But let's go ahead and get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to hit the road with the best deals in the Mid-South, brought to you by Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV plug-in hybrid, $299 a month with more headroom and legroom and longer warranty, and lower price than Toyota RAV4, plus standard third-row seat and 2.99 APR for 60 months, available on 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV plug-in hybrid. Or take your pick from 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander or 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, just $399 a month. Not a lease. Outlander or Eclipse Cross, $399 a month. You own it. And you always find peace of mind with our 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike. Online, MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV SC 00816 MSRP 42615. Outlander SU 32343 MSRP 36105. Eclipse SCO 39973 MSRP 317. Includes all rebates in this NSPF 895. Excludes tax, final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com, 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist.
Ready to shine, Memphis? Save big on Club Car Wash's Best Wash this Tuesday for just $12. Stop by any 4 club locations in Greater Memphis or visit clubcarwash.com to learn more.
Club Car Wash, join the club.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We had that earlier wreck on Bill Morris Parkway going outbound near Kirby that slowed down that traffic. It don't take much to slow it down out there, especially this time of the afternoon where it's already very heavy with that traffic flow. Headed towards Collierville on 385, Bill Morris Parkway going outbound. Busy where you would expect up through Midtown, I-40 here at Chelsea. A little bit heavy at times, 40 east, no surprise. Really over here at Sycamore View Road all the way out past Germantown Parkway. Hey, Zips Car Wash is where I go, and so should you. Get upgrade, shine, and protection at your local Zips Car Washes. Hey, check out zipscarwash.com for a location near you. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Here comes the Hero Man.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we got a little less than 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending, but before we do that, let me remind you this third hour brought to you each and every afternoon by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing, available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to JaguarBluffCity.com. But head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, Brett, we've talked a ton about the two games in this area this weekend, especially in the SEC, but we haven't really spent a ton of time talking about some of these other games on tap for the weekend, because I think, and you mentioned it earlier, I think a really fun weekend of college football just in general, outside of the games we'll have here locally. And I think one of those big ones we talked about with Pat Smith earlier, Auburn and Oklahoma. This game where a lot of people, didn't really know what to think about Auburn coming in the season. Kind of the same thing with Oklahoma. There were a lot of people that had very high expectations for Oklahoma. Some people having them in the playoffs in their preseason predictions. Others saying, well, they weren't ready last year. They're not going to be ready again this year. Now both these teams 3-0, both in the top 25. That game 2:30 on ABC on Saturday. That one will be a lot of fun.
We were talking about, would this in a sixth year of Ryan Silverfield be his biggest win to date, and I think so. I don't want to fall out with anybody or fight over it, but I think it would be.
Definitely.
It's clearly the biggest win in 3 years for Hugh Freeze.
No doubt about it.
If he wins at Oklahoma with their former quarterback after losing on the Plains against him last year, it will not be the biggest win for Brent Venables. That's still 2 years ago against Texas in Red River, and that's kind of always reserved as the biggest win. Okay, so we got that, but he's got to keep chopping wood and getting these wins, and I think they will win a narrow game. It's a tough game to pick. We're not going to pick it on Friday Football Forecast. We're going to largely tomorrow concentrate on the two big local games and our locks and shop tomorrow. Just for the sake of time, we've dedicated a lot of the week to it. You get these kind of great weeks, so you want to spend the airtime on it. I think both sides have deserved it. Brian, I'm very proud that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've had a Tigers guest solely dedicated to the Tigers and to that game, and then a lot of other conversation about it. And I enjoy. I wanted to do it. And that's why tomorrow we won't pick Auburn and OU. And they've only met 3 times in their history, 2 of them Sugar Bowls. And it will be fun out at Norman. But I think OU, because of at home and a little better quarterback in Mateer, and he's at home.
Yeah, well, and I think it's a good point by you, because I think this line is set at a perfect spot. Because I'm with you. I think Oklahoma probably wins this game. I don't know if they win it by more than a touchdown. I think this could be a really close, really back-and-forth game between these two sides. So I think that line is set perfectly right now.
And not just because of maybe Lenore Sellers not being 100% or even maybe able to go, because of in the Columbia, Missouri part of it, Columbia Mo on Saturday, I think Drinkwitz tries to run South Carolina out of the state.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely will. And you look at that line right now,
I
Missouri.
think he's cold-blooded, and Mike should be on a Florida list.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the other day. And right now, Missouri, a 9.5-point favorite. I mean, they're almost double-digit favorites against a team.
Stay away from Lane, Florida. Stay away. We don't want you around.
Yeah,
Go away.
Anybody else? Well, and it's a good question because you look at both of these coaches. Eli Drinkwitz, I think his name will be out there. Certainly if Florida comes open, I think his name will be out there. But you're starting to hear Shane Beamer with the Virginia Tech opening coming up. Do you think he would want to go back and go there and have to be living in his father's shadow?
And that's his alma mater. He played for his dad there. You know, his bedroom was just down the hall from the single greatest figure in the school's history. And Frank Beamer played there, played in the Liberty Bowl with Virginia Tech against Archie Manning in the 68 Liberty Bowl. There's shoes to fill. Yeah. And then there's a whole stadium to fill.
It's really tough. And, I mean,
how good a job is it now? And how does this shake out? Where does Virginia Tech go? You know where South Carolina, what league they're going to be in 4, 6, 8, 10 years, however it shakes out. You know, I don't know about Virginia Tech because we hear when we go to Super Conference, if and when we go to Super, and I'm doing something I don't want to do. I want to keep it all on the field while we're in season. So I'm violating what I want to do. But when we go to Super Conference, we feel like a couple are going to max out at 20. Well, the SEC's at 16. The easy math, and I don't know if all this is going to happen, but the easy math is add North Carolina and Virginia. Well, that goes to 18. Well, what if those state legislatures don't make you take NC State and Virginia Tech? And I'm serious about this. I would love it if the SEC would go, okay, we're not going to get involved in state legislative battles, and you're not going to make us take anybody. We add Virginia. We add North Carolina, and we go back, and we right the wrong. We bring Georgia Tech and Tulane back.
Whoa.
I would love it.
Whoa.
I would love it.
Wow. Okay. That would certainly make headlines. That would be the biggest story ever if you brought those two back.
But where's Virginia Tech? How's it all going to shake out them?
That's a good question.
If they can be assured that their powerful state legislature, and that Virginia state legislature, I think it has about 300 members in it. I mean, you literally can be across the street from one state rep to another. But the boundaries are something to see.
Crazy.
New Hampshire is about the only one that tops them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't walk a block in New Hampshire without running into a member of the state house.
Certainly not.
But if they force it and they end up in the SEC, that would be more appealing. I think, to Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer better be worried about going to Columbia Mo this weekend, though.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing. Now that that's a story, now that Virginia Tech has an opening, it feels like anything you see about Shane Beamer this week, it's not about, hey, this game on the road against Missouri this week. It's, would he take the Virginia Tech job? Is he the first call? Whatever it is about Virginia Tech. And so, if he would want to take that job, if he thinks that he wants to move, you can't let that be at the front or the back of your mind, because this is a really tough test against Missouri. And so I think a lot working against South Carolina this weekend on the road against Missouri. But we'll see. I mean, it's a fun weekend. You got some other games in the SEC. I know we've talked about Florida and Miami, the night game on ABC. How does Florida rebound after that loss against LSU? Miami continuing to roll. Miami, in your eyes, now, again, only 3 weeks in the season, so I don't want to jump to any conclusions here. Is Miami a national title threat, in your opinion?
Yes, they're the U, and I think they're back.
I can't trust them yet. They gotta show me longer that they are back before I can go out there and say they're back. Cause
would beating the Gators after beating South Florida do it?
I think in my mind it's more of a prolonged thing. I don't know if there is one singular win that would do it. Maybe if you win against Florida and then win next week at Florida State, then maybe. But I mean, you talk about Miami over the last couple of years, and it's not the big games you're worried about. It's kind of those games that, well, they probably should win. Last year at Syracuse, I get it's a road game, but, I don't think Syracuse was a team last year that many people were afraid of. You go back to 2023 and you look at some of those losses in there, and it's, those are games you probably should have won. You go back to even before that when they lose the game at home against Middle Tennessee. Like, I'm not worried about the big games. I'm worried about some of those games that are gonna catch you when you're sleeping, because that seems to be what has gotten Miami over the last couple of years.
How about this for your civics lesson? So the Virginia State House, I Googled it,
okay.
100 members. Okay. Small state, but sure. 100 members. New Hampshire, even smaller state, 400 members of their state house representing 203 districts.
All right, so quite literally everybody that lives in the state of New Hampshire is involved.
Either are in or have served.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, that is.
Yeah. How about Puffy guy? Yeah, I'm a member of the New Hampshire State House, yeah. but so are we.
Buddy, everybody in here is. You are. You're special if you're not a part of that club. If you're in New Hampshire, that's new math to me. I don't really know if I understand that one.
It is time to load up and head out on that football trip or that fall trip with you and your friends and your family. And that trip needs to start at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Come check out all the new Tahoes and Suburbans, the Equinox, the Traverse, all the Silverados are right there on that lot. First exit after you head down Highway 78, cross into Mississippi, take Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there with Drew DePriest and his great team with all the Silverados with financing as low as 0 or 3.9 and no payments for 90 days, 1.9 and no payments for 90 days on a new 26 Equinox. Your good credit deserves it. You get it at All-Star with all the best of the best pre-owned and certified Chevys, a ton of Silverados, Equinox, Tahoes, that great-looking Corvette Stingray right there on the showroom floor. If you have any car or truck you want to sell, the best place to do it this week is at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. Bring your title, and you get a big check. Show them your title, get a big check. You're gone, whether you bought it there or not. Let's head to All-Star Chevrolet. Everything you want to drive is right there on the lot at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's get to our final break of the day. When we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Moe's Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call at 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Everyone needs protection, whether you're on the field or on the road, so make sure you have the best. Bob Simpson State Farm Insurance can buckle you up with auto insurance, can back you up with life and health insurance, cover your business whether it's starting, growing, or maturing, and don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today at 901-381-1233 or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor, Bob Simpson.
It's football time in Memphis and soon basketball. And we cannot forget soccer. I'm Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and you shouldn't forget real estate, as it's a year-round sport. I've sold homes on every major holiday, including Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Day. So don't think spring and summer are the only prime times to sell. What is more important is the prime agent you want representing you, me. With a highly successful strategic marketing program, people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. I may be the worst golfer in town and known as Mr. Three-Putt to my so-called friends. I am one tough dude when it comes to selling your home. During the upcoming sports seasons, interview 2 to 3 players, but definitely include me to lead your team. You can reach me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Remember, Shell Dunn gets it done. Maybe not on the golf course, but I can sell your home. That's MemphisRelocate.com or 4830546 and go Tigers.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Since 1948, in the Alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something I don't understand. You said you love me.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest first time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival, Tennessee.
Goodbye!
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. And this Saturday, it's free queso day at Moe's. So make sure you get out there, go start your morning with the Tigers in Arkansas, and then you can either get lunch afterwards or in the night, maybe with some dinner, and get you some free queso.
If I ever had to enter a competitive eating contest, bring on Joe Chestnut for queso.
Honestly, I think I can give Joe Chestnut a run for his money when it comes to queso.
And Bryant, I'm not making a prediction. I'm making a promise.
Okay.
Tigers win. However, Screaming Joe Test signs off on Saturday will be in Monday's Crunch Time.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. We will definitely make sure that happens.
And I'll be screaming real loud.
Yes, it will be. We'll have to make sure the levels are good, because he can certainly get up there. But no, I'm with you. If that happens, we are absolutely adding that to the loop. Well, what I learned today, a couple of quick things. Earlier today, Brett McMurphy from On3 reported that the SEC will announce its 9-game 2026 schedule in each team's 3 rivalry opponents on Tuesday. The SEC obviously adding a 9th conference game in 2026, so we will know next week what that will look like moving forward with those 3 opponents and next year with the 2026 season.
Okay, all right. I think there's a difference between schedule and opponents.
Mhm.
So I think schedule is giving dates, isn't it?
I would assume so, yeah.
I'll be very surprised if we get dates too. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Brett
That's
McMurphy
just
may
what
be
Brett
right.
McMurphy says about schedule. I mean, if
And I
it
may
says,
be a little hung up in the lingo.
Yeah, it might, because I know that you usually have to wait for times with television. So I don't know if that is the same with dates.
No, I'm not.
either.
I'm not
No,
talking
no,
about
that's what I'm
times.
saying.
I'm talking
That's
just
what I'm
even
saying,
dates.
but I don't know if with TV. I mean, TV
Yeah.
is going to want to have all of that, a hand in that too. I don't know if they have scheduled all of that either.
What I learned today, from this point on, I refuse to. The rest of the year, I won't do it being obstinate or rude to you or to anyone else. I'm from here on, I refuse to talk in season eligibility, portal, dates, lawsuits. I'm going to keep it entirely on the field while we have it this year on the field, because it's really good. It's a great product on the field, and it opens up the door a little bit for the Kick college football crowd when we're talking lawyers and lawsuits and things like that. And ironically, that's often led by the college basketball First Click.
Well, I was about to say, Brett, good luck with that, because it feels like every couple of days you've got some news story that involves lawsuit or transfer portal or
When Pat
something off
Forty
the
does
field.
the lawsuit story on college football, he's kicking it.
Yeah, no, you're right, but I mean, it feels like it's everywhere out there. I wish we could stick with just the games. Well, what I could have done without, it's what we talked about earlier with this Wofford story that came out earlier today. They fired their head coach about a week or so ago, and when that happened, you kind of figured something was coming from this story. Now we learned that 6 players were using a meal card while living off campus, and because of that, the NCAA has deemed them ineligible for using that meal plan while living off campus, called those benefits ranging between $84 and $108. So we are really freaking out about 6 players using meal vouchers, meal cards that at max $108. I mean, that seems very small scale to be getting that upset about.
I saw today where Florida's going to restore Vernon Maxwell fully to their record book, and they should never been stricken from it. $84 for Vernon Maxwell.
Crazy.
in the 80s,
That's right.
that did nothing.
It's insane. It makes no sense.
I could have done that. Just yesterday, we were discussing the Dodgers using Shohei in the postseason. Now they are. People should appreciate our brilliance in real time, Brian.
I think they should.
We don't need credit in the future. We need it real time.
That's right. That's exactly right. Where are you beaming tonight?
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Is it winter yet in Buffalo?
It's getting close. If snow's not falling, it's going to be there soon. Beat me to Charlotte and Rice tonight, bro. We got an American game on ESPN.
I refuse. I refuse to watch Rice. I refuse. I can't do it.
Yeah.
In any sport, ever again.
It's not hard to avoid them, but tonight you'll just not have to turn on ESPN.
Don't look now, but the baseball giants are back in it at Dodgers tonight.
Yeah, no, it's a good night of baseball around Major League Baseball as we get closer to the end of the regular season. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.